Hello, everyone. Welcome out to the Cars, Bars, and Guitars podcast, episode number 47. I'm AJ.
I'm Steve.
Steve, who are we brought to you today by?
New backpack.
A new backpack and the United States Navy, because we have Mr. Sean Smith, everybody.
Yay!
Glad to be here, guys.
We are really glad for you to be here.
He's killed more people than you've slept with.
Oh, boy. Well, in Sean's honor, I got us a bottle of Eagle Rare Kentucky Bourbon. It's 10 years, made from Buffalo Trace Distilleries. So, slotcha, everyone.
Slotch. It's good stuff.
Oh, it's good. It's one of my favorites. So we are drinking Eagle Rare, and Sean brought us a little something from Florida, where he is currently stationed. So you want to tell us a little bit about what you brought us?
Yeah, so this is the Funky Buddha Hop Gun IPA. It is from a little town just north of Miami. So we get it all the time down in the Keys. We only have two breweries down in the Keys. You got the Isla Morada Brewing Company, and then the one in Key West, which is called Waterfront. Unfortunately, they don't distribute out to other states, so Funky Buddha it is.
Yes.
For today. Yeah, so they call it bursting forth with flavors of grapefruit and pineapple, careful dose of smooth caramel malts, swoop in to balance out the finish,
Right.
Just like any good wingman should.
Yes. Steve, 1, 2, 3. Nice. It always
That's
does
a nice
that.
peak.
That's so great. Well, Steve, you have the best peak out of all of us, the best widow's peak. My shit's falling the fuck out, so...
Just another reminder of your rapid onset of aging.
Oh boy! So we're glad
I'm going gray, but it's there. So.
Rather turn gray than turn loose.
True.
So, we're glad you're here, buddy. This one's been in the making a long time. Sean's been on and off listening to this since we first started this ridiculous nonsense.
Every episode.
Dun, dun, dun. Well, Sean, we always start out by going through your car history. Now, this is any car that was either titled to you or was predominantly your. So if it was you were 16 and you drove this car all through high school, but it wasn't technically titled to you, that still counts.
Okay.
So we're going to go.
I think in this case, watercraft and aircraft totally work too.
Absolutely. So
that's the case.
Any engine-powered thing you can totally do.
Engine-powered thing.
Yes.
Okay, well, let's see. Starting back from the very first vehicle I ever owned was a 96 Ford Ranger XLT, the crew cab, 3.6-liter V6. It was nice, red, tinted windows, diamond plating around the bed, whole 9 yards. It's gorgeous. Loved it. I think we got it for... I don't remember what we paid it for, but it had about 7,500 miles on it, so that was pretty awesome.
7,500 miles, not 1,000?
Correct.
Wow. Okay.
And that was pretty awesome for 2002, I believe.
That's ridiculous.
So,
what year was it?
96.
Oh my goodness.
So it was definitely a steal there.
A test drove a 93 4-cylinder. It couldn't get out of its own way. That was dangerously slow.
Yeah, the only 4-cylinder not the only 4-cylinder. Yeah, the only 4-cylinder I've ever owned was the next car that I had, which is the 2002 Saturn SL2. That was a 1.9 liter 4-cylinder.
1.9.
Yes.
Still bigger
But
engine than I've got.
It was a plastic car, and it would go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it made up in being very, very light. Following that was another 96 Ford Ranger, except this one was just the XT, but also a 3.6 liter V6 engine. It was nice navy blue, and
ironic.
Yeah, I had that until basically I left for the Navy. At which point I got back from OCS and got a 2006 Mercury Grand Marquis courtesy of my grandfather for the low, low price of $1. That had a whopping 4.6 liter V8.
Oh,
and
yes.
she would go.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome. I took her to Guam with me and drove her all around Guam and actually wound up selling it in Guam there. I also, while I was in Guam, had what was called a Guam bomb, basically just a beater vehicle that you could take off-roading in the jungle and stuff like that. And that was a 1992 Hilux.
Ooh, nice.
2.4 liter. Oh, also V4, or 4-cylinder. So I was wrong before.
Was
But
that
yes,
gas or diesel?
that was gas, but it was a right-hand drive, so that was fun.
Was it a stick?
Yes.
How weird is it to do? Or do you just kind of get used to it after a little bit?
It was very weird, but you do get used to it.
Because, like, I imagine the shift going from fourth to fifth is the weirdest. Because first to second's just straight down. And second, when you go up, it self-centers to third. So that's not that strange. But I would think going there to fifth would be really weird.
Yeah, it is something, being predominantly right-handed, doing everything with your left hand is very, very hard to get used to.
Well, I masturbate with my left hand.
Well, that's why you got stranger versus just stranger.
So my right hand, my dominant hand is the stranger.
Chuck was whack.
So I'm thinking dominant hand stranger would be a great punk band name.
That rocks.
I like the Guam Bomb. I like
Yeah.
I like that.
It's just a shitty car you pay a couple $100 for, and you basically pay you. It's just a kind of an unspoken agreement that you buy it cheap and you sell it cheap.
Okay.
There's rust spots all over it, but the whole thing is just that it moves. So, so sold those in Guam and picked up on my way here or way to Florida a 2018 late model, because it was 2019 by that point, Dodge Journey Crossroad. It was a 3.6 liter V6
All right.
automatic.
You have a thing for 3.6 liter V6s, don't you?
3.0 liter V6.
Yeah, I think that
okay.
the Rangers would have been
Rangers,
3.0s. Like,
yeah.
it's...
So, yeah.
Hey, you're ringing.
Ring-a-ding-a-ding-dong-ding.
Yeah. The Geico. I'm going to turn this sucker off.
That's okay. We've taken phone calls on here before. I don't know who
that
that was, but
That's
they
reminds me I need
probably
to put mine on mute. So,
they
that's
probably wouldn't appreciate being on a podcast, and I don't even know who it was.
I don't know either. It was not a listed number. But yeah, so that was, that's an automatic, all-wheel drive. The dude who sold it to me sold me on a 4-wheel drive model, but I got to the dealership and they're like, nope, this is what you got. And I'm like, well, what am I going to make a stink out of it or not? So I'm like, well, fuck it.
all drives are going to come in handy in Florida, I'm sure.
Yeah.
They're not really. I mean, honestly.
Did you at least get the license plate Bone Thug on it?
No.
Yet.
So you don't need four. I've never felt like I needed 4-wheel drive living in Charlotte. Like maybe the once every 5 years it snows a lot, it melts the next day.
Yeah. I'm not really worried about so much for the keys, except for the reason I got this was twofold. One, it's small, it's compact, so there's a lot of small roads and not very much parking, so it fits. And then point 2 is the all-wheel drive / 4-wheel drive. In the event of a hurricane, you might need it.
Fair enough.
And D, it's 7-passenger ostensibly, so you can shoehorn a lot of people and or stuff into said small vehicle.
Yes, it has been very useful for putting lots of stuff. It's an SUV, so essentially, putting lots of cargo in the back. However, the one thing I can't fit in the back of it without disassembling is my bike.
Oh,
so yeah, I have to take the front wheel off anytime I want to take my bike anywhere. It kind of sucks, but
I could send you with one of those strap mount bike mounts too. It's like that's gonna be a very strange carry on, I'm sure.
Yeah. So,
or you have a roof rack. Got a couple of them too to get rid of.
I'm gonna take mine off of the Jeep because I don't need it.
That arrow, net you that extra half a point of gas mileage.
Well, fuck the passenger capacity. I want to know the clown capacity of cars. I want that. I want that to be the new standard of measurement.
Yeah, especially with a smart car.
3 1/4 clowns. Which fourth? Who knows? It's your choice. Well, so you got the Journey now, so that's your only car.
Wanted to trade it out for something Fordish, like another Ranger or something like that, but that's for the future.
You are a Ford man.
Yes.
At heart.
Yes, I do like Fords.
And Steve and I have never owned a Ford.
Interesting.
Yes, we've owned.
You should try it sometimes. It's great.
All right,
Highly
so
recommend.
We've owned.
I think mine's gonna look like a Mazda B series, so by proxy, be the Ranger.
Yeah, basically.
I had a '99 B3000 as a loaner,
Okay.
I call that the Baby Raptor.
I like it.
That was a loaner from a mechanic. Like, it had 230 on the clock and a bomb-ass stereo on it. That was very loud, but very entertaining to drive around for that weekend, and came in handy to clear out Dad's house when he was moving out to bring a lot of stuff home. It's like, yeah, I miss having a pickup. I would miss this particular one. It was awful noisy since the tires had gone octagonal. But
Single cab, right? It was a single cab?
No, it was a stretch cab, but
Oh.
you're not even hauling an amputee in the back of that thing. It was still small since the original Ranger that ended production in 2012,
Right.
on which this is based, was the last of the truly small trucks.
Oh, yeah. Because
Now
even the new Rangers.
They're
Yeah,
big.
that the one that had been sold overseas until now, hey, it's here. Well, it looks an awful lot like a 2010 Fusion on the inside.
Yeah, well. Yes, you
Like,
take what
New,
you can
new
get.
to the States, old news everywhere else. They tried.
So now we're up to speed on your car history. You want to tell everybody what you do for a living in the Navy?
Yes, I fly
And then I have to kill
MH-60
you.
Sierra helicopters.
Very nice.
Yes.
So I thought it was planes that you flew, but you are able to, but now you do helicopters.
Yeah, so we started out flight school doing flying. Everybody starts out flying fixed wing aircraft, so I started flying out the T-34 Charlie. It was a single engine turboprop, which means basically a jet engine driving the propeller. So it goes fast. It's fun. A lot of power. You can do aerobatics and stuff in it, which is fun. It has officially been phased out for the new T6 Texan 2. So there are no more of those, but T6s are the new ones that they're training out of. But spent about a year and a half flying the T-34. And then after that, I went and flew little Jet Rangers. They're basically Bell 206 helicopters, kind of like news chopper looking things. A little single engine.
The quintessential bubble chopper.
No, actually, it looks kind of like an actual like news helicopter or police helicopter you'd see flying around today. Just a little bit older version of that. Yeah, so learned to fly the helicopters on those, and then went to San Diego to learn the actual H-60. And for those of you who don't know what an H-60 is, it's a Black Hawk helicopter. So
I'm down with that.
yep, it is the Navy's version of Black Hawk. The Sierra version looks a lot like the Army version of a Black Hawk. So yep, that is what I do. Right now, I am flying search and rescue down in Key West.
Ooh.
So that is about it.
Sean told me when he got here, before you got here, Steve, I did not realize how long of a drive it is from Key West to Miami.
Was it 2 hours? 3 hours?
Nominally it's 2.5 because it's about
Okay.
150 miles. However, you got to understand that a majority of US 1 from Key West to Miami is one lane in either direction. So that 2.5 hour nominal drive very quickly becomes about 4 to 4.5.
That's a long way to mile zero.
Yeah, it sucks. So
And it's not a whole lot to look at. You better like that view.
well, it is a beautiful view.
True.
A lot of
But it's
islands,
the same
a lot of
view
trees, a
for
lot of
4.
water. Yeah,
Lots of bridges. So
Bridges,
those, bridgeophobic, maybe don't do that.
Yeah. Well, every time, like when we went through Jacksonville and when we go through Charleston, we'll get to the very top and I'll go, Emily, it would suck if this thing broke right now, wouldn't it? She goes, why do you do that every single time?
Yeah, you got the 7 Mile Bridge between Marathon and the next southernmost key there, and it is, in fact, I think just short of 7 miles. Not
I would have
actually
thought
7
it should be
miles.
26 miles.
Nope. Fun fact, if you ever watch the movie True Lies, they actually blow up a portion of the 7 Mile Bridge. And that is actually the 7 Mile Bridge blowing up for that movie. It's the old one. They built a new one next to it, and so they needed to demolish part of it.
So this happened to have, hey, there's this bridge here, and this movie's going to be awesome, so let's just destroy this.
Yeah.
Steve had that movie on
Laserdisc.
Laserdisc. Nice.
Yeah, about 4 years ago, I briefly had a Laserdisc player and some movies on it, and that was one of them. And I think it was like that and Die Hard were the ones I actually watched on it. And then decided the cell said kit and caboodle, since the figure's like, well, good news, this thing still works. There's no remote. It's incredibly inconvenient. And if this breaks, then I've got a lovely $20 paperweight. So I think I broke even on it. Guy buys a player from me, and then decides to buy the movies a week later. Like, Sure, they're still here.
We're going to do laser disc golf later.
I like it.
Don't try to catch those. Those might cut you.
Yeah.
This about the size of a
It was
record.
it was
it is.
12 inches by about a quarter inch. It's a beastie thing.
And you have to flip it halfway through the movie.
If you've got a better player, it will pick up where you're leaving off, so then you don't have to.
Oh, fancy.
Those-
Daddy
You
Warbucks over
decadent
here.
capitalist pig.
My nerd cred is I have Tron on Laserdisc original.
Nice.
Very nice. I thought about getting more into vinyl because I have the turntable and everything down there, and everything works. Just haven't wired it up. But don't know. I do not know. Steve is not a big vinyl guy. Does not care.
I don't even like the vinyl siding of my house. Got too many holes in it. It's letting too many bugs and tiny snakes in.
I would only get the album. I would get like the 5 albums that I thought shaped my musical psyche. Like I would, I'd have like Super Unknown on there and Dirt. From Alice in Chains.
I was gonna say Allison Garden.
Yeah, pretty much. Alice Mudgarden was Right Turn. Mudhoney, Alice in Chains, Soundgarden was they had a song Right Turn. You remember that song?
Yeah. Oh, it's
Right
awesome.
Turn was fucking great. So about
I
flying,
can't get it right.
about flying planes versus helicopters. Now, this is coming from somebody who obviously has no knowledge of this at all. I imagine that has got to be completely worlds apart from the feel of it and the sensation.
Not as much as you'd expect.
Really?
The basic controls for, pitching down, pitching up, going left, going right, it's all the same. The controls are fairly intuitive. Your pedals are the same. Push left pedal, your nose kicks left. Push the right pedal, your nose kicks right, kind of deal.
Cool.
The difference with helicopters versus aircraft is just kind of, it's a little bit more. It's weird because you don't have to worry about your airspeed so much. Airplanes, if you get too slow, you stall and you fall and you die.
Aces of the Pacific taught me this one.
Yeah, yeah. So to put it
That's why I was
simply,
trying to
that's
go
what
as
happens.
fast as possible playing my World War II flight sim.
The mechanics are the same. Like you pull back on the stick and you don't change your power. You're going to slow down, but you're also going to be gaining altitude. You push down, don't change your power. You're going to be gaining airspeed and that sort of thing and going down. The basic mechanics are the same. The difference is with every input that you make into a helicopter, you have to make an input into all 3 sets of controls: your pedals, your collective, which is basically just really big throttle, essentially, and then your cyclic stick. So it's a little bit more. You got to be a little bit more in tune and a little bit more manual in your flying than an aircraft, where you can kind of not really have to worry about all 3 at the same time. You just want to turn left, okay. Push the stick over to the left. You really don't have to do a whole lot, too much.
But basically, maintain speed and altitude, and it goes in straight lines pretty well.
Yeah, so
It's a Corvette.
Yeah, so aircraft, airplanes are a little bit easier as far as maneuverability and things like that. You don't have to think so much, or you don't have to really interact constantly. So
Cool. What do you enjoy flying more?
Oh, definitely helicopters are a lot more fun.
Okay.
Zoom around super low, super fast, and you could just like kick that thing around and do whatever you want. I could fly backwards, sideways, whatever I want to do. There was the boat races down in powerboat races down in Key West a couple of weeks ago, and we got to hop in the pattern with all the camera boats, and you'd sit there, basically nose to nose with the boat, like flying backwards while they're speeding at you, or flying sideways along next to them. And it's it's a lot more fun, a lot more maneuverability, a lot crazier flying, which is awesome.
I would love to be in a I kind of want to fly in a helicopter.
You can really just move that thing any direction you want to do. It's amazing.
That sounds so cool. Coming from the guy who was afraid of flying for the first 27 years of his life.
Yeah, you never flew before your honeymoon, right?
Yep, first time was the honeymoon to Puerto Rico. Landed in Miami, from Miami to Puerto Rico, and then the same trip on the way back. But it was fine. I was more nervous going through security because I had a Glock. No, I'm just kidding. I was more nervous then, but once I was in the terminal, I was like calm because I was like, well, I'm getting on the plane and this is happening. I can't stop it anymore. So I was like, I'm not nervous about this. Now I like flying. Like I do enjoy it. I don't know if you saw my Facebook post. I didn't much enjoy my flight to Vegas.
Oh, what happened?
I thought I thought I was it was this lovely Latina lady right beside me, and then me, and then an open seat, which is fucking dynamite. So I slide over, and then like 3 minutes before they shut the doors, a lady comes on. I'm like, fuck, she's gonna be sitting right here. And then I just went ahead and moved, and she sat there. Do you know that? Do you know that smell of when somebody has rotten teeth? Have you ever smelled that smell?
I think I know what you're getting at, yes.
That. Her entire body smelled like that.
Oh, Lord.
And her carry-on was the urn of her loved one. So I said, I have to fly 4 hours, smell right beside somebody who is carrying a dead person and smells like a dead person.
Typically an urn is not supposed to be a snack.
Says you. It was reduced fat.
Charbroiled.
Well, you know,
I think it was reduced human.
Keith Richards snorted his dad's ashes in a line of blow.
Oh, Lord.
So he'll always be with him. Oh, I heard the best thing on Cherokee Forum today, and it said, oh, God.
The Jeep, not the people.
Yeah, the Jeep, not the people. And it says, I'm going to substitute Alabama for this instead of Cherokee owners. But it was, why do chicks from Alabama not like to do reverse cowgirl? Because you never turn your back on your family.
Oh, Lord.
That deserves a one-handed clap from Steve. I'm so mad I can't do that.
Did you even go to middle school?
Yeah, but I was clapping something else that time.
You really should get that checked out.
Not that kind of clap. Yes. So in all right. So you went through the breweries in Key West, but are there anything? Is there anything in Florida that distributes in Florida proper you can get down there that you cannot get here that you really enjoy that you can remember? Because it's better than Guam was.
Yes.
What's the idea of craft beer in Guam?
You're basically looking at mainly like Japanese beers and like Kona are the big ones.
I was gonna say by proxy, it's soon going to be New Belgium because they just got bought by Kieran.
Oh, I saw that. Did you see that?
I did not.
Oh, yes.
I just heard that Kona sold out to InBev.
Yeah,
they did.
That's oh well, it was good while it lasted.
What are your?
That's a swift kick in the liver.
Well, what are your thoughts on the end? But Steve and I have discussed this before. But what are your thoughts on the InBev situation and the buying out everybody? And
oh, I think it's horrible for the craft brew market, and if we're trying to encourage community and experimentation in the craft beer world, it's essential that people can have that freedom, and the independence to do that. That being said, I do own a lot of InBev stock.
Well, you can't. I mean, look.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you're going to do that, just buy stuff that isn't explicitly the Anheuser-Busch's.
Oh no! I still support the the buying up of everything. As a private brewer myself, I fully support the independence and creativity of everybody. But I'm a real world pragmatist, and they're going to make money off of it. So
you want just a little piece of that pie too?
Yeah,
I don't blame you. But here, like,
I tried making bear pie once, it exploded.
You left it in the freezer too long.
Said oven funny.
Because we don't get political on here, but like I don't see how anybody, because the right says you're pro small business, so you should want all these brewers to remain independent and not have a cap on barrels and let them be independent without having to sign with distributors. If you really say you're pro small business, you should allow that. But the answer to every question is money.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
And speaking of, I haven't heard back from said beer distributor job. Whoops.
I didn't see our Empire distributor today, so I'm still going to put that good word in for you. So, is the Navy hiring ITs?
Actually, yes, they are.
They're probably always. Sorry. Emily said she just got to Carrie, so I'm going to tell her everyone says hello.
Hi, Emily.
I am.
From podcast. Nice. Sweet. Indeed, job alert. 1,900 new jobs from your recent search. Somehow I doubt that.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
probably,
Well, yeah, and 191 of them will not be biting.
I'm casually looking too, but hard to give up all that much vacation time because
That's
Seniority rules.
6 weeks vacation and cheap health insurance.
How much of that vacation time do you actually take per year?
How much do I take now, or how much did I take when I was much younger? I didn't used to take any of it, and I just cash it out. Now, I go to Vegas, or when I hurt my back, I take a week off.
Rocking out with your cash out is a very Colin move as well.
Yeah, now I take it because...
Of course, now he's working from home 3 days a week.
That is true, too. I want to see more of the U.S. I want to see more of the world, so I take those vacations now.
So when are you going to go see that
as
giant ball of twine?
Or a giant ball of rubber.
She's my favorite country artist was Shania Twain.
That joke's still the one.
Man, I feel like I couldn't make it work. Couldn't make it work. Back to the beer. Back to the beer.
Beer.
Yeah, back to the beer in Key West.
Yeah, so there's lots of, like I said, there's a couple breweries in and about like Miami, South Florida. One of the bigger ones that I really enjoy that you can get here is like Cigar City. That's out of Tampa.
And nice. I think it was courtesy of Oscar Blues now with a satellite operation in Brevard is how and why the Funky Buddha is distributing here.
Awesome.
Because otherwise our Cigar City experiences were all at Nantahala Brewing, since the guys at Nantahala have friends in Florida. They go and visit and bring back stuff. So we got the crash course in that much before they started distributing up here, and also had the Decatur Beer Festival and enjoyed their stuff.
Nice.
And Brian Layton was on. Brian Layton, our buddy who just bought the new 2020 Supra. He was on, and he's from Jacksonville, but he lives up here now. He's been up here for about 8 years.
He really didn't care for me singing Oasis to him. Can I ride with you in your BMW? You can sail with me in my yellow submarine.
He brought us a bunch of Funky Buddha, and one of them made our Hall of Fame. That's our Hall of Fame right there.
I see it.
Yep. Oh boy, that one in your hand that one was interesting. That one's from Croatia. My Bosnian employee brought me back that bottle, and boy, let me tell you something, Steve. I remember that taste.
I think it was only between the Croatian liquor and mushrooms made my dreams echo.
I could hear what color the number 5 tastes like. It was a cross between like really cheap tequila and really expensive nail polish remover. Is what it kind of.
It really made an acetone of itself.
It did. But we got a lot of good. No, there's a Cigar City, the Cafe Americano, on the right beside the Bourbon County. So that one made the Hall of Fame.
You actually have 3 Funky Buddhas here.
3 Funky Buddhas have made the Hall of Fame.
That's impressive. Well, it is a good brewery.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we'll keep this up with bigger placemats.
We've already upgraded the this is the 3rd table we've used. The table keeps getting bigger.
Put a shelf up right above the guitars.
No, I'm afraid they'd fall on them. Let's put a shelf I'll just put a shelf right there, like an IKEA shelf or some shit right there. Like
I like it.
Yeah, we'll just do that.
Well, one of those shelves with with little cutouts for the base of the bottles.
Ooh, yeah.
Because I don't know how dangerous that would be. Say if you're playing music in here, could you in fact bring the house down?
Well, when I'm just playing guitar, because when I record, I have the cabinet in the other room, and the head in here, so I can tweak it and everything. But when I'm just jamming in here, all of my saucer plates like rotate.
Don't rock the house. Don't rock the house.
That amp
baby.
is stupid loud. Like it's so fucking loud.
Especially number 883 right there.
Which one?
Exactly. The fifth.
The fifth one. Yeah, that one. Days sober.
Yeah. Binary days sober.
I like it.
Ones and zeros.
No, that's an 85 watt head, and it's tube, so it's fucking loud. But you could turn it down to 35. You can run 35, 55, 70, and 85, and I run it in 85 when I'm recording, because when you're recording, you want it wide open.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The Super Nintendo ad campaign taught you well. Play loud.
Fuck yes.
Turn it up and rip the knob off.
I'm gonna rip off your head and shit down your neck. Duke Nukem.
Holy crap, soldier!
I think that phrase originated in Full Metal Jacket, but it's still a really funny line.
You know, I realized
because
that
it also got borrowed in a Ministry song as well.
No.
Thanks, Uncle Al.
I didn't realize it until rewatching both Full Metal Jacket and then Officer and Gentleman. The OCS stuff between Patrick Swayze and his drill instructor. Most of the lines that Arlie Ermy used in Full Metal Jacket came from Officer and Gentleman. His initial dress down, like the whole steers and queers line, completely lifted from there.
Nice.
It was
Two things come from Texas.
I've only seen half of Full Metal Jacket. I've only seen the first half of it.
The best half.
Okay.
Speaking of the band Ministry, saw them years ago, and one of Al Jurgensen's other bands, Revolting Cocks, opened for them, and they have a song called Beer, Steers, and Queers.
Nice. I feel like
it is the most insane bunch of industrial nonsense you've never heard.
I feel like somebody needs to make a Patrick Hazy IPA.
Sure.
Where's my book? Hang on.
Sean still carries his book around. I love that about you. By the way, Sean, other than Steve, I will say that every one of my other friends, what I miss the most about you, other than your friendship, is that I could call you almost at any point, and I would go, "I'm bored. You want to go to Saucer, or you want to go do this?" And you go, "Yeah, sure."
Yeah.
And every time, like now it's, I got the kids. I got to put the kids. I got to do this. I got to do that, and I could always go, "Hey, you want to go this?" Yep, sure, let's go do it.
Yep,
every single time.
That double jabbing nowadays is making it tough.
We're working on it, Steve. We're working on it.
I know.
Hey, Steve, we're not going to do this. We're just going to do this for a living. We're going to get syndicated on XM, and they're going to pay us to do this. What do you think about that?
A lovely idea if XM had money.
We're going to get syndicated on something. How about that?
Netflix.
Netflix.
Yeah, that's it.
Just fucking do it live. Streaming Netflix.
Well, I got plenty of spaces for cameras in here.
I would. I honestly am only like half kidding. You could probably get greenlit for that.
You think so?
Yeah.
It wouldn't. We're closing in.
Netflix you have to get into. YouTube Live is free.
True.
And worth it.
We are closing in on 1,000 downloads. Not bad for 46 episodes in. So
well, you also don't really advertise. So
I have not recently. I probably advertised about a year ago. I bought a couple ads, but willing to take any advice on how to grow the audience. If you have any suggestions for that, I'm totally all ears. So I got more whiskey downstairs if you want to try some more bourbon, or if you want to do the peanut butter, or if you want to do
the peanut butter sounds delectable.
I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves.
We'll be right back.
The ball is screwy. Bop it up, 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 up.
Okay, so
now he's out of the room.
Yeah, so that AJ.
Wait. We can hear us?
Yeah, he hears everything. It's like
yeah,
Prince. The entire room is wired for sound.
Yeah, not bad for somebody that's half deaf.
Do you ever listen to Smodcast with Kevin Smith?
Yeah.
You ever hear the Prince episode?
Oh yeah. I've got a couple of the DVDs of An Evening with Kevin Smith, one of which he outlined the meeting with Prince and the eccentricities thereof.
Yeah.
It's 3 a.m. in Minnesota, and I want a camel.
You're going to teach you to walk like a camel? I'm going to leave that door open. It's just get a little air in here.
It is getting a little warm.
I got the air conditioning on, but unfortunately,
Hopefully, it hasn't
It's
gone
so
out
cool
again.
outside. Like
Yeah.
it's stupid.
That could actually cause your conditioner to freeze.
Yep, and I just replaced one of the AC units in the house, and that was
Yeah.
$6,400.
Cha-ching.
Yeah, I'll wait till you're done with your boivin.
Talk about cold hard cash.
I mean, I could open the window, but then we're gonna get some bleed from sound outside. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that's what you want to hear. Rain.
Well, I could put the gate on. Sean knows what I'm talking about. I could put a gate on it and everything, but
that would take too much tweaking.
oh Jesus Christ! But well, when I had the 2-channel, all right, so I went from a 2-channel interface to a 4-channel interface, and Steve and I used to be on the same channel, but as Steve gets more relaxed, he gets further away from the mic. So I could use compression, but when I compressed mine sounded so in your face, and his sounded normal that I had to go through and manually turn his parts up. So now I do this. That just makes my life so much easier.
Yes.
Speaking of the great outdoors, and specifically the house I can almost see through the blinds, I really appreciate that your neighbor still has Halloween decorations up.
You like that?
Through Thanksgiving.
You like that?
That's commitment.
How do you know they're not already decorating for next Halloween 2020?
Yeah, not sure if lazy or just really early.
Every December 26th, I post the same thing. It says, "Can't believe the neighbors already have Christmas stuff up. It's a little fucking early, don't you think?"
What you don't realize is their last name is Adams.
So, in the interest of Rule 34, guys, I was surfing the internet the other day and came upon a Wednesday Addams cosplay scene, and I got to tell you, it was awesome. It gave me a Pugsley.
I was waiting for the other shoe to drop on that one.
Well, so Sean, you definitely have delved into audio engineering also before your career. So what did you use? I'm using Reaper, and I have a Focusrite Scarlett interface, and that's been dynamite. Reaper is very, very user friendly. It's very good for somebody who's just starting out, but it also is good. It has a lot of headroom. It's good stuff. Like, it's not just. Whereas
I found it kind of spicy.
What was the other Pro Tools? There's a learning curve for, like, it's a good system, but you have to really really read the manual on that.
So it's important to realize that there's a difference between audio engineering and mastering software versus recording software. Things like what you have here, they do both pretty well. And there's a growing market for that with increase in interest for private home studio type stuff. Musicians are able to do more professional grade stuff from their own home, which is I think is great. Yeah. Stuff. The main program that I used was way back when was what eventually became Adobe Audition when Adobe finally bought out. I actually can't even remember what it was called before then. Started like with a C or something like that. But anyways, it's Adobe Audition now. It used to be Cool Edit Pro. And it was
that is old school.
It was a pretty industry standard piece of software though. That Pro Tools kind of came in and improved upon their designs, but they also were the ones to incorporate hardware with it. You can buy an entire Pro Tools setup with full on mixing desks and everything. Your entire rack could be Pro Tools gear, and then the software was all talk to each other. It was a pretty slick design, but it was very much didn't play nice with anything else though. So if you went down the Pro Tools rabbit hole, you were invested in that, which made it kind of shitty because it's they're trying to follow the Apple. Apple didn't really play nice with anything else. So like if you're going to go Apple, you had to go Apple all the way, kind of thing. So they followed that construct to somewhat success, but at the same time, people really didn't like getting hemmed into that.
Oh yeah, I mean it's nice to have the option to go. Like Reaper, you can do Apple, you can do Windows. It's very like the Focusrite stuff's good like that too. And the thing is, it's got the 4 XLR channels, and then it's got 8 more 1/4-inch channels on the back too,
which is awesome.
Yeah, that I'll never need.
That's
like,
a good little unit.
I will never need to upgrade, like basically ever, because when I'm recording, I'm single track. I'm like, I get the drums. I get my drum software, everything squared away, and then I'm just using one channel for bass, and then I just unplug that and I do my guitar. Like that's how I do it. I do it one at a time and then mix them together. So, Steve, mixing is like putting the puzzle together, and mastering is like photoshopping the puzzle to make it even more pretty.
Yeah,
that's
a really good way to look at it.
Yeah, that's how I read it. I can't take credit for that, but that's how I was reading it. So yeah, that mastering is the polish.
I always enjoyed live.
What? Master.
Yeah.
Master of puppet.
That was the first Metallica CD I bought in the era of the Black Album.
So it was Kill
Or
'Em
it
All,
might have been
Ride
after,
the Lightning,
Load.
Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, and Justice for All, the Black Album. No, Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, and Justice for All, Black Album, Load, Reload, Saint Anger, Death Magnetic, and Hardwired to Self-Destruct. Right?
Sounds about right.
Okay. Metallica albums.
No, did you miss Garage?
God damn it, Garage Inc.
It's like we need to back up. You're missing Garage here.
That is all covers though, so it's like yes and no, but yeah,
It is an album.
That their cover of Queen's Stone Cold Crazy is one of my favorites off of that one.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Walking down the street, shoot people that I beat, fully loaded Tommy gun.
Unfortunately, the band Hell Yeah covered Stone Cold Crazy, and
It's Diet Pantera.
No. Hell Yeah is a stupid fucking band. Like, I love Mudvayne. I'm the biggest Mudvayne fan ever, but like, Chad Gray looks like a fucking 80-year-old woman now, and he sounds the part too. He didn't take care of his voice very well.
Well, when it's something that makes you all your money, you probably should.
I gave you a lot.
Yes, you did, and I appreciate it.
So
wait, you even found crunchy peanut butter whiskey? How dare you?
We had this on the last episode, but because Sean
same joke, different episode.
Screwball peanut butter whiskey, it's 70 proof, and it fucking tastes. Oh my god, yeah, it tastes. It smells like.
It smells like peanut butter.
It tastes like Nutter Butter cookies. So
peanut butter jelly time. Peanut
where
butter
he at?
jelly
Where he
time.
at? There he drunk. There he drunk. There's no reason that should be that good.
That is, to borrow an older expression, perilously drinkable.
That's going to be the title of this episode, sir.
That was came from. I can't remember the name of the beer, but it was one of the write-ups on one of the saucer slips.
Nice.
Oh, no.
It was it was a description. One of the beers is
Take two.
You read the articles?
perilously drinkable.
Perilously drinkable.
Yes.
We go to Saucer for the articles.
Yes.
Saucer's exactly the same as you left it.
Most of the skirts.
What? Yep. So, Steve told me you said your music talkability would not be up to snuff, but
and then
you got a Metallica
afterwards,
album.
like I am wrong. So
I know some things.
Yeah.
Is there
and important things, pertinent things, things that currently have a tribute in the works for Ronnie James Dio.
Oh,
So
yeah.
therefore, I think all things Black Sabbath and Sabbath adjacent sure seems awful
we
nice.
can totally do that, and we can discuss how I draw parallels from Dio to Sammy Hagar.
Proceed.
Something second singers. That
They were the
band-
second singers were the more talented vocalists. Sammy Hagar was the better singer than David Lee Roth.
Oh, completely concur.
Yes, and Ronnie James Dio, talent-wise, the better singer than Ozzy Osbourne. It may have not been as fitting to some of the songs, but as far as if you're going from a raw talent classically trained singer Ronnie James Dio is fantastic.
As opposed to some overdosing druggy dude slurring his words out into a microphone.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. No, but as just an all around, yes, he was. I would agree that he was a better singer than Ozzy. However, I would give it to Ozzy the sheer talent of just being a great musician and lyricist.
Absolutely.
I think he's one of the greats.
Mm-hmm. And there are bands that you listen to that you appreciate the music and you maybe don't like the lyrics, and then you hear some bands you really like the lyrics and you don't like the. So everybody does bring something different. So I mean, I don't know how I'm trying to get this point across, but I know there is a point, and I know I'm trying to get it across.
And knowing is half the battle.
Steve, do you prefer the Sabbath? Do you prefer the Dio years, or do you prefer the Ozzy years?
Probably gonna say the Ozzy years, and a lot of that's the sheer quantity and just more exposure to it.
That's fair. Because they went to, when did they go by Heaven and Hell?
That
the Heaven and Hell tour.
The Heaven and Hell
The Heaven and Hell,
album was later. Dio.
No, Heaven and Hell was 1980.
Yeah, that was the first Dio Sabbath album. Then Mob Rules was 81, and then a reunion with them later. There was a live album. So by proxy, there's 3 Dio Sabbath albums, 2 studios and a live. And Heaven and Hell is fantastic.
Yes.
I think it was later effective Dio Sabbath 80s, 90s.
Sean told you something about the Dio tribute. Is that what you were getting at?
Did I? What?
Oh, no, it was the other night asking him. I was like, so, last I recall, like, there was no, like, specific bands that he was, like, super into, I recalled. Yeah, and then I got proven wrong. So,
okay.
I've been wrong before, and I plan on being wrong again.
Okay, so he told you that okay.
Yeah.
I'm well up to snuff now.
Dio's widow was just on the Joey Diaz podcast. So that's
the Church of What's Happening.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's a great name, too.
It's probably a church I can go to.
What's up, you bunch of cocksuckers? I'm going to crack open another bottle, but I just remembered we have peanut butter whiskey in there, and I'm going to go get us some more glasses that,
are not peanut buttery.
Yeah, something like that.
Peanut butter.
I'm getting my extra steps in because I worked today, and I worked on Thanksgiving.
There you go.
That's tomorrow.
Fun anecdote. We were talking about how Ozzy's coming to Charlotte here shortly, and he's calling it the No More Tours tour, right? Funny story that this is his second No More Tours tour. It is the No More Tours tour number 2.
I think it was
first one was like forever ago, like in the early 80s.
It was back when I lived in Raleigh. I saw 2 Skinny Jays, one of those absurd rap rock acts, doing what they called it the "Fuck It, We Quit" tour.
Yeah, did they quit?
I don't believe they've been terribly prolific since then.
Nonsense. Underground is still. Pass me that bottle opener. I got to crack open the teat of the dragon.
New Holland's Dragon Milk, 11%.
We sell this at my store, so I didn't have a chance to. I've been working all week, so I didn't have a chance to go to Total Wine, where I met Alan Iverson.
Really?
Yep, that was in a couple episodes ago. That's
and then again.
And then again. So after y'all were talking about something, I'll pour these glasses, and once I pour these, I'll tell you that story.
All right. No, we were just as telling Steve the lovely anecdote. We were talking about how Ozzy's coming by.
February?
And I believe so, yeah. And but it's the No More Tours tour, like we were discussing. It's actually the second No More Tours tour.
They're gonna have more farewell tours than Kiss and Cher.
You'll stop touring when you're dead.
Did either of you happen to go and view the Guns N' Roses tour when it came through town a couple weeks ago?
No.
I heard it was half great, half terrible.
I think the more time that passes, the more Axl is turning into Ma Fratelli.
I heard he came off as very aware of who he was.
That is Axl Rose.
Yeah. So it kind of that kind of oozed through the show, is from what I heard. But I mean, the music was still great, and it was obviously great to see them all together. But
yeah, I can't understand.
And oddly enough, today's weather is from Use Your Illusion.
Yes, nothing lasts forever.
And it's called November Rain.
I don't understand being
True.
like that.
yeah,
I really in college, several thousand years ago, the guy that lived below us used to live in Orange County, and he worked at like some rinky-dink record store. And he said one day in walked Chris Cornell and Tom Morello right when Audioslave got together.
Oh, I was thinking, like, where do they keep Chapel Hill? Wrong Orange County.
And he said, he's like, Chris Cornell and Tom Morello came in just looking at records, and he was like, "Hey, guys," and they were like the nicest people. And then like he got like a picture on a really probably shitty camera phone in 2004 of Chris Cornell on Tom Morello's back, like piggyback riding him around. It's like they were the coolest fucking guys. Like, and Josh Homme, from all accounts, like, is a really cool guy. Dave Grohl, a really nice guy. Like, but then you have guys like Axl Rose, and then like Nikki Sixx, I've heard is not very nice in person. Aaron Lewis from Stained. I've multiple people have told me he's just
people that don't deserve that level of arrogance oftentimes have it.
What is? I don't understand that. Like, sometimes I have imposter syndrome. You know what that is? Like, when you're doing something, you're like, "Am I really good at this?" Like,
yeah. You always just don't feel that you are as good as you actually are.
Yeah, and I'm not just saying that today, but I feel like it's.
And then other days you're saying to yourself, "I'm a bad motherfucker."
I love you, Steve. But I feel like a little bit of humble goes a long way.
I'm trying to too.
Oh, so yeah, I'm at Total Wine. Sorry, everybody who've heard this story before, but I'm at Total Wine and I see a white Bentley roll up, and I'm in the S2K. I park, go inside Total Wine, shopping around. I get to a beer end cap, and I'm just kind of looking, and I hear dude on the phone. He's like, "All right, man, I'll holler at you later." And then I'm like, I know that voice from somewhere. I look over at him, then I look back, and then I looked back at him, and he looked at me, and I went, "AI?" He goes, "Yeah." I was like, "Huge fan, man. I love the way you play the game." He goes, "Thanks." And I left him alone.
Yeah.
Well, 3 weeks later, I go to On the Border right there on Providence Road.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Andy. And I went back to Total Wine, and I'm coming out the door as the Bentley's parking, and he gets out. I was like, "Back again, man?" He goes, "Yeah." And evidently he spends like $500 or $600 a week at Total Wine.
Jeez.
And he just like takes his wallet and throws it to the guy who was driving his car. He's like, "And just go ahead and pay for it." Man, how the other half lives.
Yeah.
Alan lives in Charlotte. He's lived in Charlotte since he retired. So
all right.
He and his kids and wife, and they all live in Southside Charlotte. If you want to see it, it's usually Tuesdays at Total Wine around 11:30. So if you want to see Alan Iverson.
Okay.
I didn't ask him for an autograph. I didn't ask him for a picture.
No,
I was just like, love the way you play the game. Because you know what's funny? He looks tiny on the court. He's my height and weight. Like, and I'm a normal to like I'm a 6 foot tall dude, weigh 170 pounds. Like, he's my size. Like, but he look on the NBA court, and he looks like the size of that whiskey bottle.
Well, yeah, because they're all gargantuan.
Huge.
Same thing with like NFL players. You know, they're all 6'6", 6'7". You know, upper twos, low threes. You know, they're gargantuan human beings.
Mm-hmm. I want the Panthers to win a Super Bowl while there's still football. Because I don't think there's going to be football forever.
Oh yeah, that'll happen. Now we're going to Sarcastaball.
It'll be so watered down it won't be NFL anymore.
Yeah. I mean, we are the second youngest team in the NFL.
Yeah.
We still have time. We're still working on getting there. The fact that we have been to Super Bowls is huge.
The fact that we have 2 Super Bowl silver medals is still doing better than quite a few teams out there.
Fair.
Yeah, we are not bottom of the barrel right now. We have been doing amazing, and yeah, the fact that we have mere appearances, and the fact that we repeatedly at least get into the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is not that's great.
Yep. And this is not
Like,
Steve's
I
wheelhouse.
want to see this going the opposite way. I want Mutant League football from the Genesis
yes.
to become a real thing. Like, you can bribe the refs, you can rip people's heads off. Like, let's have some fun with this, fellas.
Do you remember
My team of atomic supermen?
Do you remember the Monster Sports cartoon thing?
Vaguely.
The Mutant League. It was.
Are you talking about like? No.
There was a cartoon with like
Space Jam.
It was not Space Jam. I'm going to look this up because I know it was a thing. I know I dream some fucked up shit and subconsciously I make it reality. But this was actually Mutant League.
I believe I can fly. Love the art, not the artist.
I believe I could fly.
Mutant League cart. It's always weird trying to find something and knowing what to type into Google to get it to yeah, it was called that was video animated series based on Mutant League football. It was called Mutant League.
That's how I phrase it. New backpack is Topo Map Fabric Catavu shoulder bag. Hey, it worked.
Yes.
It's here. It looks rad.
Yes. Shit, what was I going to say? So, unpopular opinion time. So, Steve, I'm sorry this is about sports right now.
Oh, it's like, I like GoldenEye the movie better than the game. What?
GoldenEye was the first Bond
You
film I
shut
saw.
your mouth.
GoldenEye was the first Bond film I saw.
Not a bad one to start on.
So, So you're
that
a
soundtrack
huge,
did not age well.
You are a self-proclaimed huge Bond fan, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Specifically the first one.
Yes. So, the only ones I've
This
seen...
is when you speak in your finest Sean Connery.
This is
Sean.
good. This
Exactly. And he was not the first Sean. He was not the first James
pay
Bond.
no attention to the Jimmy Bond from the 50s. No one pays attention to that shit.
But yes, Sean Connery. Another guy who, but rightfully so, is very aware of who he is.
Really?
He deserves the level of arrogance that he has. But
fair. And
other than that-
he's from the UK, so
Scottish.
yes.
Anyways, proceed with your unpopular opinion.
I signed Cam Newton to an extension.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so my opinion on Cam is he's gotten to be to the level of very aware of who he is.
Mhm.
And that is distracted him very much so from his from what he needs to be doing. He needs to take a little bit out of the playbook of Tom Brady and be relentless in his study and his practice and his workouts. That dude doesn't do anything but study and practice and work out, which, it shows on the field. But he also done a great disservice with how he got literally thrown in the mix. Rookie year, starting. That is not how most of the greats work. You look at people, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, these guys, they sat on the sidelines with clipboards.
Mm-hmm.
They watched, they learned, they were tutored, they observed the game, they sat next to the coach and understood the coach's mind.
Mm-hmm.
And he went in first thing, and he had a lot of raw talent.
Mm-hmm.
But that only gets you so far, and a couple thousand sacks and heavy hits later. He's a big dude, but you can only get hit so much.
That's right.
So often. He needs to reinvent the way that he plays football. And that is, I think he has potential still and opportunity still, but he has to make major changes.
I'm glad you have a nuanced opinion on this because most people are like, oh, just get rid of Cam and start Kyle. I'm like, I don't think Kyle Allen's the answer.
He has a lot of potential as well.
He does too.
And if you take him and put him in some games still, But at the same time, keep him on the bench, keep him learning, keep him developing him. You develop him as your franchise. Cam is not going to be your franchise quarterback. He's got a couple more seasons before he has some sort of major injury and he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Or he just underperforms and is eventually let go because he can't make the changes that he needs to make. Whereas Alan, you keep him ready to go, hair trigger, stand next to the coach, dressed out with a clipboard, good to go, and like really just learning and being a good student. He is going to be your franchise quarterback, and he is going to be one of the next greats.
Mm-hmm. If they can keep him.
Yes.
The reason I signed Cam is because when you put a good defense behind Cam with an offensive line that's not made of Swiss cheese, and you get him a deep threat like Ted Ginn was the year they went to the Super Bowl, they win games. You just have to protect him. If you protect him, he does a fantastic job. When you don't protect him, he gets a little bit trigger happy with his arm.
He gets riled really easily.
Yes, he's a streak player.
The second you shake him, shake his confidence, he's done.
Yeah, he's a streaky player. He's very streaky. But if you do protect him and he can pick you apart, what are you looking at?
I'm looking at Steve's waveform. It's just like silent for the past, however long.
He cares.
Sport ball.
He cares not about it.
Sports team.
He cares not about it. But I got to tell you, I haven't watched any game in the last 6 weeks. 8 weeks. 8 weeks. I haven't watched this Cam went down. I have not watched a snap. And I've got to tell you, worked wonders for my blood pressure.
They call them the cardiac cats for a reason, bro.
Well, if you would have told me that the Hornets would be doing just as well without Kemba, I would have told you were crazy. But the Hornets are playing with a lot of heart. They're in the like 9th spot in the East. They could still make the playoffs.
Yeah,
which is nuts. But I'm a more of a basketball fan than football. Duke got beat last night by like Bob's University of underwater basket weaving in South Utah. So it couldn't have happened to a nicer bunch of guys. Steve, what do you think about it?
Thank you, Steve. Very insightful.
Underwater basketball weaving?
Fuck yes.
So actually, UNC Charlotte, their football team has finally been put into a really good division. Football, not basketball. Football has finally been put into a really good division. Creamed Marshall the other day, and they've actually been playing some big teams. Yeah, Clemson has whooped up on them a little bit earlier in the season, but you're still in the same division as them now.
Marshall hadn't seen that kind of thrashing since the plane crash in 1970.
Oh, too soon. Too soon, man.
Well,
but at least the correct reference, though. But thank you.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know much, but I know when to do it.
Speaking of the two, the new ERB, the new Epic Rap Battle dropped.
It was Stephen F. Austin was the school that beat Duke.
The new Epic Rap Battle.
They even spell it correctly.
The new Epic Rap Battle was the Joker versus Pennywise.
Oh, hell yes.
Oh, Lord.
So fucking...
Which Joker?
The Mark Hamill Joker.
Ooh.
The old school.
Yeah, the animated Joker.
Yes, the animated Joker.
That's
versus
awesome.
the new Pennywise. There's so many good references. Like,
did Krusty the Clown stomp on their parade at all?
No.
Because he should.
But
or the ghost of Bozo, who died at 90.
Yeah. So each of the ERB guys usually get 2 verses. They all get 3. It's a 4-minute long. It's such a good. I've been rewatching it nonstop. It's such a good. The production value is just it's fantastic. We're drinking a Dragon's Milk now.
Dragon's Milk by New Holland.
Steve, read about the dragon.
Straight from Dragon's teeth.
Yes.
Not to be confused with teeth.
Not a lot to say. Roasted, malty, smooth. Rarely bottled in Holland, Michigan. NewHollandBrew.com. 11% ABV Dragon's Milk from New Holland. And there's precious little to say about it reading off the bottle.
Even on the website, there is not much.
I was going to say, it's like, Jody,
literally
look
bourbon barrel aged stout, 11%, availability year round.
Yep,
that's it.
Basically, you know what this is about. We do not need to tell you anything except buy it.
Yeah, it's true. It's
So,
excellent.
yes.
I've been working all week. Normally, I get a lot of super rare, weird stuff for Steve and me, but I have not had a chance to go down there in Iverson Land to get to get anything special other than the whiskey for Mr. Smith or Schmeith.
Yay!
But we still have plenty of good stuff because at my store we have Arrogant Bastard, Voodoo Ranger, and then that 1911 apple cider donut. It's cider, but it's
that is an affront to the 1911 firearm.
I don't always get arrested at NC State, but when I do, it's under the 1911 building.
There you go.
Oh, Steve, what about that?
We didn't break shit. We only entered.
Ugh. Are you thirsty for some Watergate?
I heard I was at lunch today and I heard somebody like talk about how they're going to make Wintergate or whatever Wingate salad. I'm like, I'm pretty sure you mean Watergate salad.
Wingate salad?
Because they're like the Wynn Hotel, like
Oh,
Hotel.
Okay.
So they're confusing hotel names.
Okay.
With in the dish. I'm like, I'm pretty sure you mean Watergate salad.
Oh,
But,
Lord.
Jesus. All right.
Waldorf.
Yeah, all of the we're going to make the
Yeah, it's like,
Waldorf
wait,
Astoria
I'm
salad.
gonna make the Wingate salad. Like, I don't see what the university on the far side of Monroe has to do with any of this.
Well,
I know, right?
Several months ago, someone insisted that we had romaine tomatoes. And I said, "Do you mean Roma tomatoes?" She goes, "No, that's what the other guy said. I'm looking for romaine tomatoes."
They got recalled. That's why we won't have them.
Exactly. I was going to say, look.
You're going to get listeria and hysteria from them.
Yeah, my doctor told me I had high cholesterol for my age, which was weird because it was 208 and normal's under 200, 8 points. Like, I could run that off. But I ate a salad for dinner, and then the next day, the romaine got recalled. We had to throw it all away off the shelf, and I texted Emily and said, "See what fucking happens when I try to eat salad? I'm going right back to eating peanuts and drinking beer."
No good story ever started with, I was eating a salad.
No good story was ever started with that.
You said taco salad, awful funny.
But what, tossing a salad?
I mean, no, not even.
Steve, what's your favorite Black Sabbath song?
Rat salad. That and you said fairies wear boots, awful funny.
Fair.
The end of that song, like, I wound up looking through like every Queens of the Stone Age and Kaya's tune, trying to find that. Like, which song is this? Like, wrong band, dum dum.
Did you listen to the Josh Homme on Joe?
Yep.
It was great.
Yep.
I love Josh. You know, you're familiar with Queens of the Stone
His
Age.
first car was a '67 Camaro, and still has it. Like,
really?
Yes. He has his
sufficient badassness.
Yeah, he has his original car he got when he was a kid.
He's had some others. Was like this one stayed. Like, I'll allow it.
That's boss. Although I gotta be honest,
that would be a
I don't want
Mustang
my-
reference.
I don't want my original car. I don't want an automatic Starion.
You know, I think driving a 1990 Volvo Plain Jane is a really stupid idea now. But if as far as the first car goes, it was fantastic.
Well,
It was, I think it was the next to only car I had with heated seats.
So let's see, Sean, are you a member of the manual transmission preservation group? But would you like to be?
Yeah, you better trade that Journey for the last of the Mazda 5s with
Manual
the 6
Transmission Preservation Group.
There's a group called, or the Manual Transmission Preservation Society.
Yeah.
Is that right? So it's like they just
MGPS.
love manual transmission cars, which Steve and I both do too. Because the last 9 of mine have been.
I was trying to figure out if you're trying to make like a stick shift joke in reference to masturbation. So
No, I've gotten
Not yet.
no. I think I've gotten all of my system. I don't know.
Every time I hear somebody referencing a tiny purse, like, oh, that's so clutch. Like, yeah, I love the third pedal.
Steve and I are very
Excellent.
much 3-pedal elitists. Do you?
Well, you only got 2 feet.
Do you have a preference?
As far as manual versus not,
Does it depend on the car?
it does.
Okay. To me,
It also depends on the environment.
all right. So I guess you're speaking about rush hour. If you're in rush hour, you would not prefer.
Do you understand the words that come out of my mouth?
So I don't have to. I've never had a rush hour commute, so I've always had 3 pedals.
So most of the time, I'm good with the stick shift, but yes, like rush hour, or in the case of Guam or Key West, where you don't go above 30 miles an hour ever. Yeah,
Plug it in second, and you're good.
Basically, just go. You never need to shift
Never
out a
shift,
second.
just
Period. So why not have an automatic? So yeah, I've not really had a whole lot of need for anything manual. It's really not been fun anywhere that I've lived, and so yeah.
Are you sad to see manual transmissions going away?
Yes.
I am, big time. I understand the argument. I don't mind I don't mind on trips doing that, but I like the idea of having the manual option. Like the new C8 Corvette, no manual. There's no manual.
I like to call that a stillborn.
The feelings I once felt tonight. Black Label Society, stillborn. All right, never mind. Carry on.
Are you crazy or
Crickets.
high? That's all that
Talk amongst yourselves.
To throw it back to Ozzy, it's like he was a guitarist in Ozzy's band prior to spinning off his own
Yes,
thing.
Zach Wild with
That
2
is-
Ks and a Y for
WYLDE.
EDE, yes.
Wilda?
Wildy?
Wildy?
Wildy Coyote? Zach Wildy Coyote. I'm not anti-automatic transmission. I am anti-CVT.
Most of I don't blame you there. That's kind of weird. My mom had some sort of Mitsu or something that had a CVT.
Is that your not your Nissan Rogue outside?
What now?
Yes.
The Rogue
What about it?
that will have a CVT in it.
Does not.
It does not.
But-
It has a geared.
Yeah.
That like
6-speed automatic, maybe?
Nissan has put CVTs in everything that's not a GTR.
That is true. After the Maxima, I'm very very hesitant about getting another Nissan product.
Well, did Kayla ever talk about her Murano?
Oh yeah.
It's like, good. This car cut itself off twice in traffic.
Yeah.
That's 3 times too many.
It might have a CVT. I don't know. It's my mom's, so I've not really taken out and given it the whole.
Go ahead. Find the revs. Find the gear changes in it.
It very much might. But
What year is it?
Actually, I think it's probably a 2018 or 2019.
That's
totally going to be it.
Yeah. The idea is there, but like Thomas's Crosstrek, I tried to talk him out of it. I really did. But that was the first year Subaru did
the Subaru Vibe.
They first did the CVT in that.
No, they first did the CVT in the Justy.
Did you mean to say Busty?
No, this model race car here is bigger than a Subaru Justy.
Oh, okay. Well then,
that's the best erector set dragster you
from
can...
the late '80s. It was Subaru's Yugo. Only it would keep running.
Fair, very. And lesbians drove Subarus.
They actively marketed
Jeeps,
they did. They marketed it. Subaru was marketing towards lesbians, and
I believe you.
Yes,
especially up in the Pacific Northwest.
What else is there to do but eat your roommate's pussy in the rain? We can't go outside.
I love Chinese food.
You're just hungry an hour later after eating an Asian pussy.
Good Lord.
He knows, folks. What?
He does know.
Yeah, that might be a CVT. But yeah, those things are just weird in general.
Thomas and I had a discussion about, he's like, well, the paddle shift cars are faster. I said, I don't care. He goes, why don't you care that they're faster? I said, because it's not as much fun. And like, He could not understand that I was like, look, the feeling of shifting it yourself and doing it, you're engaged with the car. It's mechanical. It's analog. It's fucking great. You cannot get that by doing this. Click.
But yeah,
Click.
yeah.
You just can't unless you're in an F1 car, which your fucking Nissan Versa that has paddle shifters is not a fucking F1 car. Like, please don't do that again. But I am kind of looking at Evoras now.
Nice.
Because that sounds like a fantastically horrible idea.
That is the best Camry on the market since mine.
Very fair. But it has to be an Evora S because I want the supercharger. And the aftermarket supercharger kits for the regular Evoras are $11,000.
Holy crap.
That's a lot of money.
That's double price.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, it definitely is.
Wait, couldn't you just go follow Merrily Martin's advice and go to a junkyard, get a Buick supercharger, and rig it up yourself? How hard could it be?
To quote a great Geico commercial, that's not how this works.
That's not how any of this works.
Just because you can doesn't mean it's fiscally responsible. I have a turbo downstairs, but it's a 12A turbo off of my Starion that runs out of power at 14 psi and blows the same cubic feet per minute as a fart does.
I love that.
I'm waving my hand here, folks. It's got that much pressure.
I love that's I love just the whole idea of turbos in general on cars, because it's basically putting a jet engine compressor cycle onto a fucking internal combustion engine.
You know what I really want? A turbocharger tachometer. Because they can spin it 100K.
Oh, you just want to spin.
Jesus Christ!
You just want to spin the needle. Okay.
Yes.
You just want to have a needle.
Or
you just want another needle.
Yes,
you
I
want
do.
an in-one needle. Got it.
Yeah. It's like what I was really missing out on the first Tacoma was lack of gauges, or better yet, turbocharger tack, but set up as an altimeter. So every 1,000, it keeps spinning, and then you have the extra tick in the middle of it.
So kind of like an old school.
Which
like
means this gauge, which means
like that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I had in mind.
You got the small needle for the thousands and the outer needle for the hundreds. Yeah.
Yep.
So let's do.
Which means that gauge would break in a hurry, considering what a yeah.
No.
I've just got a great idea. Steve and I have not played this game in probably 15 episodes. Steve and I used to play a game called 3-Car Garage.
Oh, 3-Car Garage.
You remember that, don't you?
Yes, I remember 3-Car Garage.
In honor of you, we're doing 3-Car Garage Ford.
Oh, damn.
I like this idea. If for those of you unfamiliar with this and have not listened in a while, 3-Car Garage is you can pick 3 cars from. So normally we did countries. We'd never done a brand. We've never done brand. We've done countries, and we've done the year we were born, but we've never done a brand. This is a first in 47 episodes. 46?
46 episodes.
46 episodes.
47, whatever we are.
3-Car Garage, Ford. I've never owned a Ford. Steve's never owned a Ford. Steve and I have owned the gambit of everything but Ford.
What are our restrictions on
There's
this?
no restrictions. It
Any-
has to be
any
a Ford product.
Oh, okay.
In honor of...
Well, are tuners allowed?
Are you going Cosworth?
In that vein.
It does count if it was originally sold as a Ford model.
Okay.
If it has Ford in the name, because it's a little less tricky, because if we did Hyundai, Hyundai and Kia are the same fucking thing. So, which I didn't, honestly, secret time, didn't realize until like a year ago that was the same company.
That's been going for a while, yeah.
Didn't know.
What it was the Stinger with the G70 stick in it.
Yeah. So if we're doing 3-car garage Ford, I gotta say it's gonna be hard for me to leave out the V8 Raptor as one of mine.
Yeah, I mean,
that
yeah.
because you can still tow with it, but then you can go off road with it, and then you can just putt around because of the gear. Like that would be a hard one to beat. But and by the way, if you bought a brand new Raptor, I think circa 25th, when were they brand new? The first ones.
2011, 2012.
So
The first ones with the V8s.
Yeah. So
those have gained in value because the new ones with the Turbo 6s, still an awesome truck, but it doesn't make the correct noises.
It does. 2012 Raptors, Sean. If you bought a 2012 Raptor brand new in 2012, you could sell it for more than you bought it for today.
That I did not know that.
Yes. Because the new Raptors are turbo V6s. And the old ones were V8s. And we all know how our Americans love our V8s. Even though I've only had one. And Steve's had less than me. But Steve's had more V6s. Or Steve's had more 6-cylinders than I have. Wait, 1, 2...
Blazer, Camry.
No, I've had 4. I've had 4 6-cylinders. 3 Vs and an inline.
I've had a lot of quartets. Right.
Oh, a lot of 4s?
Yeah.
Okay. So I've had more 6s and 8s. But Steve said we've had the same amount of cars.
I have more miles.
You've had more Euro cars than I have.
Yeah, two were even built there.
So I'm going V8 Raptor as one of mine. Are you guys doing the same thing?
No.
Okay.
I'm
Steve?
thinking Tennessee Velociranger. It's a Raptor, but it's a small one.
That's true. That's a good choice, actually. So each we
because
each
a
picked
Raptor is the size of a city block.
If the Raptor is the size of a Raptor,
then it should be a much smaller vehicle. Unless it's an albatross, then it's a big bird.
Thanks, Corrosions of Conformity. Who used Mesa Mark, or no, Mark, they didn't use the Mark, they used Caliber 50 amps. That's good stuff. The more you know, because knowledge is power.
The more you know.
Sean, do you know what the capital of Niger is? Please.
All right.
Sean, do you have your first Ford product picked as your 3-car garage?
Oh, of course I do.
All right, so what's your first?
It's going to be the 1998 F250 7.3 liter diesel.
Is that the last of the square bodies, or is that the curvy body one?
It's the last of the square bodies.
Ah, cool.
And it had the 350 7.0-liter V8 engine and the smaller F250 body. And it was also offered in a dually.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Would you get it in a dually?
Oh, yeah, of course. I'm pretty sure that's one of the only models that you could get it in. But yeah, it had the big, oversized F350 engine for that year anyways in a much smaller frame, and so it was way overpowered for what it was.
I was going to say, knowing it's a diesel, it probably had 275 horsepower and like 800 pound-feet of torque or something stupid like that.
Yeah, something ridiculous. Yes,
well,
it was
you
way
could
high up
tow
there.
several houses
away. It was one of the more ridiculously overpowered trucks that Ford has ever made.
And they've made a lot of trucks. That's their trucks and Mustangs are their money makers. So next, because I got to be honest, I do not like the 05 Ford GT. I don't like the way it looks. I like the old one, but I thought
you mean
the
5.0 or 05?
The 05 Ford GT,
the 05,
not the Mustang. The Ford GT.
The homage to the Ford versus Ferrari Ford.
I would have the original Ford GT, so from the 60s.
Yeah,
that would be one of mine. Because if you're gonna get, don't get the tribute act, get the full band.
The original.
I would take the original. Do you know why it was called the GT40?
Enlighten me.
Don't get short with me.
Steve's got the right idea. the top of the car was 40 inches tall.
There you go.
It was 40. So that gives you an idea of how low it was. So it was
Versus-
almost
Versus
Low,
the new
low,
one
low.
might as well have been the GT43.
Yep. So at 40 inches, it was 4 inches taller than Emily.
Oh, okay.
She's 2.5 hours away. She can't defend herself. And if she could, she couldn't reach it. So I got mine.
Oh, I'm sorry, Emily.
So I have one left. You guys have two left.
The European RS200.
All right.
Bonkers ass looking little car.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
200.
Did they have the wraparound spoiler at the back? I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
It looks ridiculous.
It's fantastic.
It did way better than the Scorpios that were sold here, or the XR4 Ti.
The Mercure.
Yeah, it's like the Ford Sierra overseas,
And that's how it's pronounced, too. I was told by somebody that when I pronounced it
Mer-
incorrectly.
it's Mercur,
Mercur, it
short
was
for Mercury.
Mercure is what it's technically supposed to be.
That's because it's going to be the German car, yeah.
Yeah. We don't believe in anything. What you got?
All right. So, I'm debating on a couple different options here, but gotta put in somewhere the Cobra 427, the original lovely Shelby Cobra.
Yep.
Fucking 7-liter V8.
That counts because it is a Ford product.
Yes, it is.
It does. We each have two.
I've got a wonderful oddball idea.
What you got?
At the end of the Thomas Crown affair,
Mm-hmm.
the Pierce, not the McQueen one, because I never saw the McQueen one, there is a lovely Shelby GT350 convertible that's been rallied out.
Mm-hmm. You want the rally Shelby 3? Okay.
Okay, yeah.
You got to make sure your convertible can go breathe dirt, so you can too. Because because of keeping international scout running is a real pain in the dick.
True. Sean, do you have number 3?
I'm
Yes.
I'm terribly sorry, 60s Bronco.
The Bronco. So I'm like literally torn on my third one. I'm thinking something like a good an old late 80s Bronco or like a Crown Vic, man.
You said Mercury Marauder, awful funny.
I know
Your old car with
exactly. Well, I love that car. That car was freaking awesome, dude. The only thing I didn't like
You'll
about
find you a nice estate sale.
the only thing I didn't like about it was a 4-speed. So it was a little rough when you really wanted to put the metal down. But the Bronco though, that thing was a beast. My dad had one and I absolutely loved it. I was pissed off when he sold it when I was 15. So I just wanted it.
It's like getting tackled on the 1 yard line.
And he knew that I wanted it, and he sold it. So because I never had one,
And now those
and
have gotten
I had
so
always
damn
wanted
expensive.
that car, probably like an 80, late 80s, full size Bronco.
All right.
The pre-OJ model, huh?
Well, that was a Bronco too.
That
think,
was
right?
a Bronco.
No, that
as
was a regular
well.
Bronco.
It was just a
Yeah.
white
Yeah.
regular size Bronco. Okay, well, yeah.
Holy
Yeah,
shit.
nobody's pining for the Proto Exploder.
Nope.
Well, it was between that and like just saying fuck it, I want to go like really old school and saying Model T, but
No, you don't.
You're okay.
No,
to
you
do
don't.
that. It's always a good
Model A because
At
that
least
was my
that-
grandfather's
Yeah,
first car.
at least make it a Deuce Coupe. Come on, Beach Boy.
I got something out of left field for you guys, and only because I have a very soft spot for it, and I mean a hard spot in
An
my pants.
86 Taurus.
Right decade. Turbo Coupe Thunderbird.
Ooh,
I was thinking Thunderbird.
I was about to
but-
say SVO Mustang.
No, but
The
I picked
Proto
the,
EcoBoost.
I picked the GT40 from the 60s, and then I picked the truck. So I got the truck, I got the sports car, and then I want the 80s.
Sports Luxo barge.
Yes. My sister had a T-Bird, and I really, really, that was so comfortable. and it was like a boat. It was so comfortable, but it would, I mean, she'd put her foot down and it would just fucking go. I mean, it was nuts. But, Sean, you'll appreciate this too.
That was one of the cases of the cars available with, at varied times, a turbo, a supercharger, and or a V8.
Yes. Oh, isn't this stuff excellent? Like,
it is perilous.
It's way better than it should be. And like I told Steve, the reviews, when I was looking at reviews on whiskey websites, all the websites they were like, it's garbage. But here's the thing, and this is the analogy I used with Steve. You don't drink this for great whiskey. You drink it because it's fucking good. True. You don't go and watch shitty action movies because it's cinematic greatness. You watch it because it's entertaining and it's good.
Yeah, it is not a whiskey that I would normally drink. It is a liquor I would drink.
Absolutely.
But it's not a whiskey I would drink.
So in the mountains, when I was a crippled bastard with a herniated disc, we were mixing the Screwball with Godiva white chocolate liqueur.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, my God. It tasted like Reese's Cups.
I just had an idea a moment ago to mix this with a Frosty.
Absolutely. Yeah, your hand would fit in that probably.
Yeah, it does. Actually.
Have you ever seen or held a Power Glove?
Yes.
Okay, good. But now you're about to again.
But have you played with Power? Shitty Power.
We Steve and I called the 1-900 number on the Power Glove poster we have over there.
Did it work?
It did work, and I forget what it was, but
Carol's waiting for you.
It was no longer Power Glove.
In the awful NES game for Roger Rabbit, there's an 800 number. It's now phone sex line.
Well,
okay. I'm just saying because the name is Power Glove.
It's so bad.
You need to take like those fucking glass things and like glue the Infinity Stones on here, and make an Infinity Gauntlet Power Glove.
Speaking of old school things, Emily was watching.
Oh, snap!
Emily was watching Batman.
Nothing happens when I snap my fingers.
Emily was watching Batman Forever last night.
Set my neck.
Emily was watching Batman Forever last night.
First mistake.
I mean, yes, you're right.
Look, it has Uma
wrong.
Thurman in it, and you don't like Uma Thurman, but I fucking do. So, but
when did I say that?
Huh?
When did I say that?
I don't remember.
They didn't?
Never mind. Maybe it was somebody else. Maybe it was another handsome dude I know named Steve. I digress. My first introduction to really having a thing for redheads was Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Duh.
And then my second one,
Little Mermaid.
I mean,
a year later.
My third one was.
So, how's that whiskey feel coming at your nose, Sean?
My third one was Poison Ivy, the character that Uma Thurman played. And I explained to Emily how, even at a young age, seeing that, I would be being scraped to death by my zipper.
I mean. Yeah.
This is why boxer briefs are important.
I do wear those. Oh boy. I don't have a favorite Black Sabbath song. But we did the three. I think we all have our 3-car garage Ford. That's right? We have not done the episode where we picked a brand. Nations and years.
Yeah.
But I thought we've done brands. I'm very happy with this.
Yes.
3-car garage is always very fun.
Always.
Mr. Brian Kirkman was the one of the first guests, him and Sean Preston.
I was listening to his wedding this past weekend.
It was. And I could not make it. I was dead fucking tired.
And so had to play, too. So, yeah, Belmont to Monroe is an untenable trip.
Isn't it, though? It's unelevenable. Thanks, Spinal Tap. I forgot.
No, I don't think that you have ever done a brand.
I don't think we've done a brand episode.
I specifically resisted doing the Mustang though because that's just so like okay, got it.
I just smelled the Power Glove.
Do you smell
to Spinal Tap?
It goes to 11.
All of those go to 10 though, and 10's louder.
Well, let's just make 10
but it
louder.
goes to 11.
I thought about writing 11 on there, but instead I wrote pull on all my knobs
All right,
that
so
pull.
there is a professional sound mixer out there, and it's from a company called Digico, and
I thought it was going to be
it's digital. It's a digital console, but they do make a model. I think it's called the S7, and their trim knobs actually go to 11.
That's
as a little homage to that. They actually have some of their knobs go to 11.
That is fantastic.
Yes. Brilliant.
If only there's got to be a better way. I think this should be our full-time job. We just have to grow it.
Just got to grow the brand, man.
What would be your suggestion to grow the brand?
I'm sure there's websites out there for how to promote your podcast if you Googled that.
Yes.
But,
Spotify now has their podcasting platform Anchor that takes care of ads for you, by the way.
Oh. That's
because I
interesting.
keep hearing about that on the Nintendo Switchcraft podcast.
Well, I thought about...
And that dude's busy making 3 or 4 video game podcasts in different ilks. Bill's gone completely mental. It's awesome.
I honestly thought about...
and he's got a really fantastic podcasting voice, too. What's that like?
I thought about this. The places I play that are bigger places, like, so Noda, since I'm in good with Noda, I can just go, hey, can we record on location at Noda? And then I could have make a big, like banner. A little banner that, recording, they could check it out. So, like, we could do it on location at a couple places.
Yeah, growing locally would be absolutely huge, especially since you talk about so much local stuff, local breweries, local bars, things like that. That'd be big.
You know what they say, local references get you local work.
But
there you go.
Local grows and grows and grows and grows and grows and grows.
Yeah.
We did get a gig in Charleston, so in May,
I spied
Holy City Brewing Company.
I always found those shirts entertaining. That looks like the shirt saying "Holy Sit."
Do you have a laptop?
I've still got that big ass clunky thing, and yes, it
run.
It works usually.
Okay, would it run this sort of thing?
I'll get back to you on that.
Okay. Steve built this computer for me, and it has produced my album and done all this stuff.
Correction, Steve acquired this computer from his dad that after attempting to return it, the guy gave him the money back, but no shipping information. So therefore, it became free computer. This is not 1, not 2, not 5, not 10, but a 12-year-old PC now. That's an early dual core. And hey, guys, can you hear anything from the machine? No.
Nope.
No, it's awesome.
So
great.
This computer's been doubly free and fairly fantastic.
It has produced one of my albums.
I slapped together a few more hard drives in it to store more stuff you're never watching or listening to. So, yeah, it's doing okay.
Well, I used to be a PC hoarder in the way that I would save all of the episodes we did. But the thing is, after I mix them and hit the gate and then make everything perfect, I don't need to save the projects anymore that take up time because we have the episodes online and I can just
re-download them.
But
you gotta save the master file.
Yeah,
I have them zipped and everything, so I don't need to keep the projects or anything.
Wait, you compress your MP3s? Did any of them come out bigger? Because that's a thing that the very nature of an MP3 file, it's already compressed audio, and sometimes attempting to compress them doesn't go so well.
Yeah.
Nope, Sean will appreciate this. So the first 15 episodes before we were on Libsyn, I would do in stereo at like really high quality. But as I read more, I was like, man, if people are downloading this, it's going to take up too much room. And then I realized that BBC and NPR, they all do 64
and I think,
mono.
I think WTF is recorded at 40.
WTF.
I was shocked to see how low that was.
And it's all audio.
And it sounds good.
It's just voice. So it it's not like when I do my music. You want that to be as high quality as possible.
Yeah, you want 512K sample rate.
Absolutely. I do.
CD quality is 128.
128. DVDs 256.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most CDs have
So
had,
internet
better.
stuff, 64 is more than good.
Yeah,
absolutely.
64, you can really notice it with music that things get swishy and terrible.
When you listen to WTF, when you listen to him playing guitar, it sounds like garbage.
Yeah, you
But
wind up
it's
having
not
it's
to.
not his playing; it's
Yeah,
just bad audio recording.
Yes.
That you've got lots of swishiness in that, but the voices sound fantastic.
Yeah, when I do the albums, I do it at 320 in stereo and wave. But you want it like that because when my song was on 106.5, which I don't know if you knew about that.
Did not.
Yep. Devakar does the local Sunday nights, and one of my songs was on there.
Awesome, dude.
I sent it to him. Yeah, on the last album, on the first album, and the thing too, like you send it to them, and then they convert it and they compress it even more for radio. So I had to make sure that when I sent it to them, that when I hit the master limiter, I didn't limit it as much because I knew they would squash it even more.
Yeah.
So
did you ever hear the NoFX song play the song on the radio?
No. Is it good?
It's more funny than good.
Okay.
Since it starts off kind of cute and then gets very vulgar.
Nice. I'm okay with this. I'm absolutely fucking okay with this. Sean, you got dinner
play
plans?
this song on the radio.
He doesn't have dinner plans.
You like?
We're gonna keep going.
You like quesadillas?
Yeah, we always go Mexican after these podcasts. So,
hola, senor.
Yeah. So
that's $7
speaking
you're not spending.
of musical things,
chairs.
You would absolutely chairs. Change places. So you would absolutely love Key West. I don't think I have ever been anywhere that has more high quality live music at every bar and restaurant every night, and in many places every day and night.
Cool.
It is just live music all the time, everywhere.
That's cool.
Be the Rupert Holmes you wish to see in the world. Do you like pina coladas getting cut in the rain?
And making love on the dunes of the Cape. Yes.
Sandy.
I mean, not if she's on top. It's all good.
Can still be Sandy.
It can. But you got to be careful, obviously. But
Emily and I were looking at Key West before we went to San Juan.
San Juan, yeah.
And it
absolutely.
was $300 cheaper
yes.
to go to San Juan.
Yes. Key West is expensive to get to, expensive there. And then, it's, you kind of got to, living there, you got to really be an expert at navigating the happy hours.
Yeah.
But the music scene is
things that could have done better in Vegas as well.
I need to visit. I want to visit since I've seen the pictures and everything. I want to go visit. How long are you going to go? Theoretically, how long will you be there?
Well, I've been there for about 7-8 months.
Mm-hmm.
So I will be there for another 2 years and 3 months.
So you're saying we all
There's
like
a
you're
chance.
so you're saying me and Steve and several other friends and spouses should schedule a visit to Key West.
Yes. I do have a really, really big house. I do share it with 2 other guys. As long as we figure it out and square it away, we could probably accommodate all of you in the house.
That's all I needed to hear, actually, because I'd be willing to pony up the dough to come down there and just hang
out. There's direct flights from Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
I got my flights to here and back for just under $400.
That's not bad.
Nice.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
Yes. What month works best?
So it all depends on what you want to do and exactly
not the fall because hurricanes.
Not the fall, or not my birthday in February because Vegas.
Vegas.
And you're invited, and I hope you can come.
It's on my calendar. I gotta figure it out because I'm doing Tahoe out of Reno in January, at the end of January. So
okay.
It'll be like a quick turn back to the West Coast again to go back to Vegas, but I wouldn't complain.
I'm sure.
A couple of months ago, Preston had a triple threat of California trips, or 2 Californias and a Washington in the course of a month. So it's like that's an awful lot of plane time.
That's way too much. But they have direct flights from Charlotte, which I highly suggest you look into, and it's American or Spirit or Delta or I think United also.
Saying
flies
Frontier
in.
doesn't.
No, it's actually they do not.
What do y'all want next?
Whatever you feel is worthy.
Works. Appalachian Works.
What do we got? Appalachian. What is that?
This is the Longleaf India Pale Ale.
I have never heard of this brewery or this brand.
Have you never heard of Appalachian Mountain?
Appalachian Mountain Brewery, negative, sir.
All right, we're all having this.
All right.
Hooray.
Philanthropy, community, sustainability, philanthropy, community. Okay, got it. Cool. But the music scene down there is crazy. As far as times to go, it all depends on when you want to come down, because during the winter is peak tourist season, and that's also when all the snowbirds are there, and we got earthquakes going on.
That's
here.
fine.
Wait, I thought it was Hurricane Place. Not. It's like you already left San Diego. What do you want, man?
San Diego doesn't get many earthquakes. The LA gets the earthquakes, right?
You'll get some earthquakes in Sandog, but you'll get
all the best parts of
Guam.
California are prone to falling in the
Guam.
sea.
Guam sits on the
So therefore,
Marianas
Bakersfield
Trench.
is fine.
I like their tacos.
Guam is on the Marianas Trench. I stayed on the 12th floor of one of the apartment towers. You could just feel that just swaying. Like you'll wake up at like 6 a.m. and just like kind of like swaying.
Jesus.
There'll be like initial like shockwave thud, and that'll wake you up and just like
Anybody
and
get
then
car
just,
sick
like,
on
sways.
earthquakes?
I call it apartment sick.
But and everybody immediately starts posting on Facebook, "Holy shit, earthquake, earthquake!" It's like, oh Jesus, all right.
This is one of my favorite IPAs, actually.
All right.
We used to play at AMB before they changed booking agents, so they don't book us anymore. But that was always a fun time up in Boone. So they're in Boone.
Nice.
You have to make it the Boonshine instead.
Boonshine is fantastic. So it's like down here. You have you been to any of the breweries in Concord yet?
No.
So there's 2. There's Cabarrus Brewing and there's High Branch.
Hey.
Oh, 1, 2, 3. You go to Cabarrus for the event. You go for the ambiance and if you family and you go to High Branch for the good
but not
beer.
the crowd.
Got it.
Same way with AMB. AMB has good beer and their Baba Boudin Coffee IPA, fucking dynamite. But you go to Boonshine for the really good, fucking cool, tasty beer.
And that was down the hill from the cabin that my brother's buddy rented for
Prost.
my brother's bachelor party a month ago.
Yes.
That was rad.
Good, refreshing IPA.
It is indeed.
I like that one. And it drinks a lot lighter than 7.1%.
Yep.
Jeez.
That's way lighter than it tastes lighter than 7.1.
Okay.
Sean said, and I quote, "If you have me on, bring your drinking shoes."
Oh yeah.
And we did.
Yes. I'm not complaining in the slightest.
I'm not wearing shoes.
Sean is.
I will say, freaking Mitten Hill needs to up their Uber game. Like, what the hell?
How long did it take?
Oh no, I drove.
Oh, you drove. Okay.
Because the Uber is like, driver found 40 minutes to pick up time.
What? 40?
When in Belmont last weekend, it was not as bad, but it took 20 minutes for them to find somebody that would show up.
Jesus.
I was like, I always took some more people to the same place, like they're in the same party.
Monday for Saucer, I called an Uber and it was like, okay, 15 minutes out. It's like, okay, got it, good. Because I called it like 6, 15 or something like that. And then at 6:30, it just like crept up to like 25 minutes waiting time. I was like, Okay, no, I'm just driving. But no.
Yeah.
So Mint Hill, there, Uber, get to Mint Hill now.
We got everything else. Like, how different? It's there's stuff like. You would think they would have enough drivers in this area now. This area is growing a lot. Like before, when the last time you came here, you came here maybe.
Oh, it's less than a year ago.
Was it less than? No, it was less than 2 years ago. You haven't been here in a while. We got Cairo over 2 years ago, and you haven't met our black kitties. So
fair enough.
So, but all those townhomes that were in front, none of those were there. That was an empty field.
Oh yeah, it was. You're right.
Yeah, it was an empty field.
Shit. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been longer than I thought. Damn.
Oh yeah. So it's like instant equity for us.
Right. Because I was on deployment from May of 18. And then I basically came back from deployment and transferred straight to Pensacola to Key West. So yeah, it's been at least before I left in May of 2018.
Yeah. We've been here we got here August of 2015. We bought this house.
No, yeah, I've been here multiple times.
Yes, you have. Because I think your sister came. No, that was Sean. Sean and Feely and Feely's sister came, and her
Emily, John.
Emily and John came. Okay, I'm getting my Sean's mixed up.
It happens.
Look. Okay, the guests we've had on the show. This is the second Sean we've had. We've had 2 Brians.
Yeah,
and
I've met
Mac and a Mark. We're very consistent.
It's like I don't know if Preston has siblings, and if he does, I don't know. I don't believe I met them.
No. So we're very consistent with our guests here. So we need to branch out.
Can't remember nothing.
Can't remember anything. Says the math major with the English background. Emily will say something every now and then. I'm gonna go, "Thanks, Ken," because her dad was an English guy, and so he will correct everything, and it's kind of refreshing. Like,
does he speak in proper sentences?
Yes, and he's Jewish. So he's good with money.
Well,
but her mom's Chinese, and she's good with money.
He bought a Fiat.
That is a tornado of frugality.
The Tornado of Frugality is another good band name.
No, he bought a Fiat.
Frugalnado.
He did buy a Fiat.
Frugnado.
He bought a Fiat. You know what that is? The Fiat 124, which is basically a Miata with a Fiat engine. It's like, hey, here's a Japanese roadster. Let's make it more unreliable. Let's make it less reliable. More unreliable.
What's your favorite?
What's your favorite potato?
Yes.
Let's make it more terrible.
I don't like the way it looks. I like the Miata better. I like the way the MX-5 looks better.
I had a buddy in high school. His name was Colin Myers, if I remember his name right. He was like the ultimate car junkie.
His park is overrated.
Yeah, I know, right? But he was always fixing up a new Miata for like something. I don't know. He was like putting roll cages in, all this shit. But it was awesome because at like
the most
6 a.m. in the student parking lot, because it was still dark. The cars would come around the corner, and he would like look at the headlights. He's like, "That's this. That's this.
I can do.
That's this."
Mm-hmm. We can
from
do
the
that.
headlights. It was like, "Oh, okay. I'm impressed." But
we can do that too, Steve. Pound it.
Yeah,
straight from the headlights.
Basically, it's useless except when you use this power to identify, could this be a police car?
True.
Well, sometimes I like to play the game cop or a black guy.
Oh, Jesus.
Or in the case of the exploders, cop or just asshole.
That too. No, cop or a black guy is, that's a Charger. Oh, shit. Is it? Oh, no, it's a black dude. And it used to be like that with the Crown Vic, and even way back when, a Caprice.
Yep.
Because Caprices used to be. By the way, I still love the Impala Super Sports, 94 to 96. I would love to have one of those.
My first series of tickets were all Crown Vics, and my last 2 were Chargers.
All of my tickets were Crown Vics. All my pullovers have ranged. So I've been pulled over 14 times, but I've only gotten 2 tickets.
Better average than mine.
Yeah, I'm not proud of what I had to do, but I had to hold it in my mouth till it went soft.
Something
Good
about
Lord.
something about a mallet with a cold.
No, actually, Sean, you'll appreciate this being in military now. I've never told the story on air, and I don't think I've told it to you. So when I had the Maxima, I was going at a high rate of speed, and I was coming up 485, and I see blue lights. I'm like, motherfucker. So I pull over. I'm like, what am I going to do? How am I going to talk my way out of this one? And he comes up to me. He's like, all right, son, why are you going so fast? I'm like, look, I'm going to dinner with my dad. He's a military guy. He's very strict on time. I'm already late. He's going to yell at me. He's like, well, just calm down. Give me your license and registration. By the way, my dad's never been in the fucking military. So he takes my stuff, and then he's like, just call your dad and let him know what's going on. So he goes back, and I have my phone up, and I see him in my mirror, and I'm like pantomiming like that I'm flustered.
Conversation,
That
yeah.
I'm flustered. I'm like, God. And I throw the phone, and he comes back, and he hands me my license and registration. He goes, all right, Mr. Holt, I'm going to let you off with a warning. Just tell your dad what happened. I'm sure it's okay. I'm like, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. I'm in so much trouble.
Sounds like the sort of thing that's going to make tomorrow awkward.
And I told my dad that. He's like, you're such an asshole.
Oh, Roy.
Okay.
I have a smooth tongue, though. I mean,
So you see these
Why, yes, ladies, he does.
you see these stories occasionally on the internet about like the pilot's license thing, like with the cops. That actually happened to me, and I actually got away with it.
okay, elaborate.
Okay, so the cop comes. It's become more and more prevalent on the internet now because people like posting memes with this on it. This shit actually happened to me. I was, I don't know, probably on 45 or somewhere, but I think it's actually 85 now that I think about it. And get pulled over because I was probably going, I don't know, 10, 12, maybe even 15 over. I don't remember now. And dude comes up and is like, all right, let's see your pilot's license because you were flying or something like that. And I'm like,
Funny
know what?
should mention that.
here you go. And he tells me to get the out of there.
Oh, that's great.
He's like, just go. I'm like, thank you, sir.
That's wonderful.
I mean, there's plenty of stories online of that like happening. I don't know if they've been made up, but that shit actually happened to me, and it was awesome.
He's got a ticket to fly. He's got a ticket to
paradise.
Oh, Eddie Money sign.
I have
Rest in peace.
I have a good story for you that I don't know if you've heard. Steve, you probably have heard it. We used to play poker at a guy's house who was retired FBI, and you would never fucking know. You would never know it because he was just the nicest, good old boy in his early 60s. But all right, so to give you an idea, they called him out of retirement when they decided to raid Osama bin Laden's to get him. And he is in his late 50s, early 60s. He is retired FBI. No, Saddam. Not Osama, Saddam. Sorry.
Okay, because that was not an FBI. They would never do that.
I got my dictators mixed up.
Well, yeah.
Pseudo-dictator, whatever.
Cult leader.
I got
Warlord.
my cult leader. I got my cult leaders mixed up.
Yes, Al Qaeda is a cult.
Yes, they called him out of retirement to get Saddam. So his daughter was 14 at the time, and her girlfriends had a sleepover. So they took their dad's F-250 out joyriding one night, driving around Mecklenburg County. Get pulled over. They get pulled over and they're like, license and registration. Oh, I don't have a license. What do you mean? And I'm so-and-so's daughter. You're whose daughter? Like, so you go back. So he gets on the phone. He's back in his squad car. He comes back and he goes, all right, look, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to give you a police escort back to your house. You're going to drive straight back to your dad's house and straight back. no shortcuts, straight back to your dad's house, and none of this ever happened, okay? So, that was a good story one night. That they moved away. They moved, so that poker game doesn't happen anymore, so I can't go play
I
cards.
was curious what happened that, because that
See?
was a steady roll you had going.
It was, well, I usually play music on the weekend, and that's guaranteed money, and poker
Yeah.
money's not guaranteed money.
No.
So.
So the cigar shop I go down to and the cigar club I frequent in Key West, one of the employees there is a 19-year-old college kid that is down there. Well, his dad is the top state trooper guy in Florida. He's the number one state trooper.
His mustache
charge.
must be amazing.
I know, right? I've never met him, but he always talks about his dad is in charge of Florida fucking state troopers. So, and everybody knows him. Every cop in the state knows him. So, anytime that he gets freaking pulled, it's always they look at his license, and if they don't recognize the last name, he has I don't know, some coin or something that he got from his dad.
Is he a shriner?
He just
family photo.
he lets it fall out of his wallet, and it's what is that? Where did you get that? And it's and he's oh yeah, my dad's in charge of freaking all of you, and it's just never got a ticket. Good to be on that level.
Mel Brooks said it best. It's good to be the king.
That's what I was asking.
good to
if
be
it was
the
a
king.
Shriner. They say if you're a Shriner and the cops are, they don't give you tickets.
Although if you're an
Maybe
Elks Club,
I don't
you
know.
get-
My grandfather was my grandfather on my mom's side was a Shriner.
although if you're an Elks Club, you get double ticketed.
Probably because you've probably been drinking all night. They just assume you're drunk. Because let's be honest, the Elk Club is just a drinking club.
Where do I sign up for this?
In your
The Flying
local Elks
Saucer.
Club lodge, of which I'm sure there's several in Charlotte. I can Google it if you want.
Did you ever see the giant Masonic Lodge on Randolph? Over near Cotswold Shopping Center?
No, I know the Masonic Lodge up in University area.
The one on Randolph got bulldozed and is now an old folks retirement community.
Okay.
But that was an interesting looking building, and the fact it got leveled and then turned into apartments fairly quickly was quite entertaining. It was what happened there? What?
Yeah, nobody knows, because not only is it is a Freemason, it is a sub level of Freemasonry. So you're not only Masons, but you're a whole nother level of Masonry.
Come on, Stonecutters, tell me what you know.
I know, right?
Simpsons
A whole
did
nother
it.
level of conspiracy.
A
You
new
thought
level
National
of
Treasure.
confidence and
You
power.
thought National Treasure was crazy. You need to look at the Shriner level of National Treasure.
That's a
No,
level.
I figured
of,
if I need to risk another B&E, that place would have been it. And now it's a little late.
is it ever too late for a B&E?
Well, at some point, it's just called trespassing. If the building is no
And
longer
that's
there, it's
such a-
just trespassing.
If the building, I think if it's trespass, yeah, it was just you're on land. Oh darn, there's a fence up saying, "Hey, don't do that."
Don't believe everything you read.
You're assuming I can,
Can read or can.
can't or won't. Thanks, Archer.
She was like the Pele of anal.
After seriously though, after reading about the dangers of smoking and alcohol, I've finally decided to cut back, if not entirely quit, reading.
I like that. And I had some good cigars, but I put them in. Brian Layton has a humidor in his house.
Natch.
Yeah. So I have my cigars.
More reasons he's better than us.
Well, you and I don't have degrees.
I was taking that Doom cheat code very seriously.
But
Degradlessness mode on.
Well, you know what's funny is that I used to 10 years ago, if somebody told me they had a degree or anything like that, I automatically thought less of myself. But now I don't do that because everybody's good and bad at everything. So the person who has the degree asks me about music or, hey, how do you sing? And I'm like, well, and I explain to them, like, I don't see how you do that. And then they do that. I'm like, well, I don't see how you do that. Everybody's good at something. Everybody's bad at something. Nobody's good at everything, and nobody's bad at everything. There's your...
The talent pool is far and wide.
There's so many things to be good and bad at that you shouldn't feel bad about being bad at something. And you shouldn't... Make your goods not too high. Make your bads not too low. Just kind of go with the flow and do what you can do.
And speaking of Guns N' Roses
Don't compare.
earlier, that's why I only do Appetite for Destruction, Guns N' Roses songs at karaoke.
Well, don't
specifically Mr. Brownstone, because that is really easy to sound like strung out Scott Weiland singing that song.
I have a funny karaoke story for you, Sean. Did I tell you the funny karaoke story?
I was unaware you ever did it because you make money, animal.
We were at Midtown Sundries when that was a thing.
Ha!
And the same guy.
I don't even remember
Great
what the
wings.
new...
Yes.
Tuesday
Yeah.
wings.
I don't
Yes.
Awesome.
Oh, hey, yesterday. I don't remember what the...
Mark,
latest
we need
name
to
of-
do more Wingtown Sundries wings.
Or D.D.
you,
Peckers.
You and what time machine? Yeah.
D.D. Peckers.
Anyway, who? Yeah, I don't remember what that bar's now called.
Proceed with
but
the
it's
joke.
Still something
Fans. It's called
Continue
there.
the joke.
Continue the joke.
So, the same guy was signing up for karaoke, and nobody else was signing up, and he was not good. He was actively... It wasn't like, oh, that's not bad. It's not good. It's not good at all. And I can't believe you're keeping on doing this knowing you're not that good at it. So he kept signing up. Everything he sang had a downward inflection. So he sang, hey, Jealousy, tell me, do you think it'd be all right if I just crashed here tonight? I'm going to shame for driving. So after he did My Hero, and there goes my hero, watch him as he goes. I do not like doing karaoke, but I signed up, and I was like, let me do My Hero. He goes, he's singing that now. I'm like, I know. I did it.
Hey, y'all, watch this.
And then I did it, and then he didn't sign up anymore. And I saved everyone from hearing that guy for the rest of the night.
There goes my hero.
Watch
Watch
as
him
I go.
Karaoke hero.
goes.
Karaoke hero. I was the jukebox hero.
No, you are the karaoke
That
hero.
is a foreigner concept.
High five. Yes. And I'm normally opposed to doing.
He's got
but
stars
you're-
in his eyes.
You're subjecting
looked.
us to this.
I honestly do think that you should write a song akin to Jukebox Hero, but it is now Karaoke Hero.
Karaoke hero.
He's a karaoke hero.
I will let you hear
He's
my
got
new one.
stars in his eyes.
I will let you.
I'm not saying rip it off. I'm saying write a song called Karaoke Hero.
Be the Weird Al you wish to see in the world, because he's better than the rest of us.
I will let you hear the
Like,
the
oh, hey, he's
song.
60 going on 30.
So I'll let you listen to the couple of songs that I did before on the last album. So I'll let you listen to the new song, and I'm so much happier with it because now I understand a little bit more. That's why we learn and we adapt. And I learned this. There's a producer on YouTube called Rick Beato, and we talked about him a lot on here.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. We were talking about guitar. He was talking about guitar sounds and the stereo image. You have to make it wide, bit. The wider you make it, the bigger it sounds. So, I recorded 2 separate takes and I played different things. And the left side, I made a darker sound, and the right side, you make a brighter sound. So together, when you're listening to it in any facet, it becomes a bigger sound.
Yeah.
Because if you record the same thing twice, even if it's different, they call that big mono because you're doing the same thing, same mic positions, same guitar, same pickup choices, same frets, same notes you're playing.
The big sick was a very different thing, by the way.
Correct.
Yes.
The big
play
mononucleosis.
Play different things. Play one dark and one bright, and spread them out wide. And it does make a huge difference.
It does.
It really does. Another thing I learned from him was when you're playing chords versus single notes. So on the new song, on my bass guitar, when I'm recording, I record when it's single notes, it's a fuzz bass. So it's a distorted bass. So you fill in all those extra notes you're not playing when you're playing the chords on the guitar. So when you go to get chords on the guitar, you go back to the regular bass. And it opens up. I was like, why did I not think of that? Because I'm not a fucking producer for a living. That's why we learn from other people. And it does. It fills in that sonic space, which is why you pan one guitar hard left, hard right, really wide, and the bass right down the middle.
Yep.
Almost every time. Unless
and you could have it crossing, and that actually makes it more entertaining and more, alive.
Yes.
But it's got to be very subtle and very slow, like somebody's walking across the stage while they're playing.
Yes.
But you can totally do that, and actually will give a lot more depth as well.
Yes. And rhythm guitars are not to have any reverb on them. On recordings. Never. On recordings. Live, do whatever you want to fucking do. But on recordings, you don't want reverb on your guitars because you want to. They have depth without reverb. Like you want them. And as far as my music is very guitar driven, so you want them not very up. You want them up front. You want them audible, and you don't want them back. Like some music, like Primus, you want the guitars back because it's a bass driven.
True. Yes.
Yeah. So mine's guitar driven. It's not drum driven or bass driven. It's a guitar. So you want them more up front.
That always makes it interesting for any sort of live performance. And I've seen this a lot because, like I said, Key West has a lot of live music going on there. And, they'll have a 4 to 6 piece drum set, some dude playing a guitar, and then, either the guitarist or the drummer is singing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because they have to, because the drums, they aren't even mic'd. Okay,
Nope.
Got it, because it's drums.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this actually is a downside because they should be miking the kick. The kick is one of the most underappreciated parts of a drum set. They think that just because it's bass, it's loud, but when you're wailing a snare, you're never going to hear the kick, especially in a sort of heavy part of a song. So you got to mic the kick.
Oh, hi, Run to the Hills.
Yeah, so you got to mic the kick. And then you got to make the guitar equal with the drums. And then you have to make the vocals equal or higher than the guitar. And in a small space, it's just going to be, you're just feedback central.
Buster Clucky.
Yeah.
It's just feedback all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so it always is you either are just muting back the vocals. And so this dude is screaming in the microphone to make his vocals heard over the guitar and consequently the drums, or because you don't have drum shield, so you're not muting the drums,
right?
So it's all about the balance, and that's always hard unless you have a big ass venue. It's impossible, and so it just constantly irks me watching these bands do this. It's like, okay, this is so juvenile.
Yep.
But it's always refreshing because QS, they also have big music festival down there. Basically, every year they have whatchamacallit, Songwriters Festival. Basically, all of freaking Nashville comes down and takes over Key West, and it's great. Everywhere you just have big names playing in all these bars and stuff like that. It's always awesome. And just by pure love of live music, you got lots of great acts that come down here. We just had a band called Bad Fish.
Yep.
It's a Sublime
Yep.
tribute band.
Oh yeah.
We went there. post up right in front of the stage until I just started getting just nothing but constant clouds of pot smoke in my face. And it's like, I'm just gonna like sit back at the bar. But other than that, like we got Willie Nelson coming down in February.
More pot.
Yeah, I know, right? We get lots of like live action
third
stuff,
hand smoke,
so,
Yeah.
But it's good, it's great. But yeah, there's still a lot of learning to be done for a lot of these newer and upcoming bands. But
yeah, but a lot of live bands don't. A lot of live bands run their own sound, and they need to understand how to run their sound. So, as an acoustic duet, Toby and I usually do, and my guitar I scoop almost all the mids out of.
Okay, yeah,
as
good.
an acoustic.
Yep.
Toby's I have a little bit more mids, so his guitar is distinguishable from mine. Whereas my mids on my vocals are a little higher, but that is because so you can distinguish. Everything has a frequency. So as a group, like together, you can hear everything we're doing, and we don't have to be that loud. Now, if we were a full 4-piece band, I would have to dial that in completely differently. Oh, it's fine. It's still recording. After 2 hours, it shows that. Yeah.
Okay.
We got worried about that one time. We paused it. It saved it. I can stop it and save it again.
No. It's
I'm gonna do it.
I don't care.
I told you I'd do it.
Yeah, you did it.
You did.
Yeah, you did it. No, but yeah. So it's for what you're talking about, harmony guitar, things like that is always great. You scoop the mids out, let the melody guitar have the mids and the highs. Harmony guitar take over your low end, your B and E like string and stuff like that, and be heavy on that side of things. But yeah, it's just it's all about balancing your parts and everything like that.
Everything has a sonic frequency. So, are we speaking gibberish to you, Mr. Computer?
Stretching my neck. Carry on.
I've been watching a lot of production stuff on YouTube, and it was like your kick drum mostly should occupy the lowest frequency you have. You want it to be distinguishable from the bass. So, like my kick drum, I have high pass filtered up to maybe 25, but my bass guitar I have high pass up to 65.
Okay.
But I'm using my guitar head for my bass.
But
I'm using impulse
There's
responses.
nothing wrong with that.
I'm using impulse response. So that has Mesa Mark IVs have silent recording on it. So I don't have to drive my speakers with my bass, so I don't have to wear out my speakers.
So your frequency response doesn't come from your head, really.
Right.
Your frequency response comes from your speakers. You can use this as a bass amp head.
Yes.
The issue is going to be what bass speakers you have. You need to have some like good subs tied to that head.
Yes, it has silent recording on it. So what it does is if I pull the master volume, it gives I can use my impulse responses on my computer and use bass cabinets software with my head. So it's straight from the head into here and then into the software. So I'm using my head as a bass amp for a bass cabinet software.
Okay, yeah.
Which sounds so much better than just DIing it into the interface.
Well, yeah, because it goes through all
the tubes.
You said that's the tubes.
That's
so
yeah. There's a lot of tubes in that. That's a heavy head.
I'm sure.
That's a 92. That's a 92 Mesa head.
This is why your back hurts.
Heavy as fuck.
It's good for fadonking.
It's so loud at 3, it rattles the dishes downstairs in the cabinets.
Good.
But that's oh my god, I'll never anybody who asks me what's the perfect amp head. If I want to play everything, I want to play rock, I want to play country, I want to play jazz, I want to play metal. Mark IV. A Mark IV that's a 3-channel head. You can do anything you ever want to do with it. It's anything you want to do with it. It's such a versatile head. God, I want to play guitar right now. I also want to drink and eat Mexican food. And I also want to keep talking to my buddy Sean.
I play a lot of bass, but I've been branching out, ever since, probably 5-6 years ago. I've been playing a lot of baritone guitar. So
B2B.
yeah,
Yep.
So it's good fun. I like the low end, but yeah, definitely you don't need to have any sort of fancy processing for bass. It's literally just you just play it.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
That's one of the best playing bass guitars I've ever played. I bought it my last year from Guitar Center. It's just a Yamaha 4-string bass. I played 20 basses that day. I was like, I want to buy a bass because the one I had was kind of garbage and it's in my closet right now. Somebody let me borrow it. Had dead spots all over the frets. Every bass I played, I was like, something doesn't feel right. And I played that one for that was $140. And I was playing. I was like, this sounds really good. And the guy came over. He's like, yeah, our tech over there, he's going to buy that thing today. And he's going to buy that thing today if it's still here. I was like, I'll take it. Came with the case and everything, $140. So that's one of the best playing basses I've ever played. Like especially for the pro. I mean, you can get a Warwick, but I'm not spending that kind of coin for a bass guitar when I'm not a bass guitarist. And
can you do the obligatory Peace Sells riff from MTV News?
Probably, and I can do the Mudvang, the dig.
My bass. Well, I do have. Well, actually, both basses I have, they're Ibanez.
Mm-hmm. They make good basses too.
They're all great.
Are they 4-string?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't mess around with the 5 and 6.
I was going to get a 5-string. I was
12-string bass. What?
I was looking for 5-string because well, the green PRS is in C sharp, drop C sharp, and the blue one's in drop C. So
okay.
It's a whole step down, drop D.
Yep. Got it.
But I was looking for a 5 because I was delving into lower tempo. I was like, I don't really need it, and I'm not. Drop C is about the lowest I'm going to go for right now. I had the green one in A sharp for a while.
You just need a baritone guitar, man.
I thought about it.
I've never heard of that.
Oh yeah,
it's like the middlest of range guitar.
Kind of.
Yeah, kind of. It's kind of if you want to play harmony and bass at the same time.
Yeah.
It's
Going to those like double monsters.
You're thinking about Michelangelo Badio or
Yeah,
any
like,
80s band.
I could say the 80s were fantastic with crazy guitars.
Fucking 80s were great. Some of the best shit was made in the 80s, like
Us!
All of Us.
All of us. All of us.
All right, so he has gone to drain the snake.
Hey man, if you sprinkle and you tinkle, please be neat.
Yeah, honestly, if you shake it more than a couple times, you're playing with it.
You were clean a moment ago. Now you're just going on vacation.
Yeah, exactly.
Which now reminds me of the best joke I ever heard last night on the Greg Fitzsimmons podcast. Dude, these automatic hand dryers are incredible. Put your hand under them, they blow the piss right off.
Fair enough.
This is one of those cases where I'm upset I didn't think of this.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's so good.
It's kind of like the fish sticks joke. How is that like? Yeah, exactly.
Then you're a gay fish, which is even funnier after this past week.
Oh man!
Because now he's a gay Fishkin.
Oh man! I mean, the beer can does not make a good. South Park has been amazing in the past, season or two. I
could say 23 years, but yes,
it has been amazing the past season or two. Like it's just been getting worse and worse and worse. We're better and better and better.
Awesomeful.
Yeah, more awesomeful. That is a really good way to look at it. But the not the latest one, but the one before that, they completely took aim at the whole transgender athlete thing. And it was like, holy crap.
I was really excited to see PC Principal do so well at that stuff.
Oh no! He lost his mind. It was great. He's like he made him completely.
No, it was macho person Randy Savage.
Exactly, it was Macho
Person.
Man Randy Savage. He was
macho person.
Macho
macho
person.
person. Yeah, macho woman Randy
Oh
Savage.
no!
Yeah, and that was so freaking funny. Because it kind of sums up that how this is not a cut and dry situation, and you're like whole like this is the way it is or nothing else. It will throw anybody's perception of any sort of PC-ishness into question.
I'm specifically transphobic, but that is because the car has a PRND in it.
Oh, holy hell.
Hey, this reminds me of the joke I had for the deleted episode.
Yes.
Because the computer fucked up so hard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm against school shootings. Unless it's fish in a barrel.
Oh, Jesus.
Wait, Steve. What scale are we talking about?
What the... Yes?
No.
I've had to sit on that since
No.
what the second episode?
A lot. Like, I think you're just catfishing me at this point.
I don't see what Facebook has to do with any of this.
No.
Who's your favorite author? Is it Salman Rushdie?
No. So much no.
Atlantic or Pacific?
So much no.
I was always fascinated by the fact my uncle has a copy of that book, The Satanic Verses.
Nice. I have the Necronomicon.
Like any good copy of said book, is it bound in human flesh?
Is it bound in human? Is a bear shit in the woods?
Probably.
Mermaid.
Clef doc.
What band do you guys want to see that you've never seen before?
Jimi Hendrix. I think that's gonna be hard. Happy birthday, Jimmy, because he would have been really fucking old today.
What?
Yeah,
Today's
he's
his
born,
birthday?
he's born in 43. His birthday is a day after mine, but 43, 81. I can't be bothered to math.
What?
70, up there.
I've seen a lot. I've actually worked a lot of concerts running sound for them. So there's very few that I have on my list. But ones I've not seen that I would love to see are likewise impossible at this juncture. So
let's say artists that are still alive and actively, or not even actively touring.
So the one concert that I would have really liked to see that I've never seen would have been would have been Guns N' Roses.
Okay.
So I didn't get to see that on when they're on tour.
Well, it's particularly like the early '90s era GNR would have been mind blowing.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like I said, they just did their whole like reunion thing and last whatever. So I never got to see them, but they are technically together and touring. But I'm never going to get to see it. So
Soundgarden toured with Guns N' Roses on Use Your Illusion. Chris,
that would have been Bad Motorfinger era.
Yeah,
like that was before I was aware of them.
They when they toured, they were like they were interviewed with Chris. They were like, what was GNR like? Chris was like, Axl's intense.
Yeah.
That is apt.
Yep.
And not shooting anybody down.
Yep.
Yeah. Where in Bed Bath and Beyond do I find this kitchen gadget
in the Beyond section?
That
Chris
is
will walk and he'll help you out. Find whatever you need.
Holy fuck, Click wasn't a good movie. I'm specifically looking for the word mincer.
Gotcha. I want to see Slipknot. I've never seen Slipknot.
You'll enjoy that because
figured
that
I
was
would.
somewhere along the way that I saw them in Fear Factory back in 2004. Like,
Yep.
you haven't lived until you drive a shitty old Outback to said venue to do so.
I have an even
It
more
wasn't even shitty, it was
square
just
vehicle
slow.
to drive to said concert.
The only other concert I would love to see would be and that they're impossible is Floyd.
Fair.
Sid Barrett era Floyd, particularly.
Yeah. I would like to see.
You ain't
Fleetwood
fully
Mac,
tripped
but-
until I'm right here.
That
That
but with
is-
Lindsey Buckingham.
That is
If
the running
it's
gag. Yeah, especially now.
Not, if it's not with him,
Um,
it's not Fleetwood Mac.
Well, that's just been the running gag forever and a day that every time you walk into any bar or restaurant ever, Fleetwood Mac is going to pop up somewhere in it.
Mhm.
So that's the easy running gag. Like, oh, hey, I'm on the radio. What? I was hiding shit in the 70s, y'all. What's up?
You were, but now you have a deviated
happened?
septum.
It's too much of this stuff.
I don't
I
think.
say
I
holding the
don't
Coke
think that's-
can.
I don't.
Run,
Yeah.
run Coke?
Correct. But if you shoot whatever substance out of your nose, at least it'll be equal out both nostrils.
That was devious.
DV Nicks.
Stevie Nicks.
Have you seen Jim Brewer do Goat Boy? That's the greatest thing I've ever.
Stevie Nicks.
It's funny because it's like, hey, it was, hey, remember the 80s was a Goat Boy? Like, this is in the mid 90s. Yeah, I think we do.
Landslide.
Or him doing metal, AC/DC.
Oh yeah, that was.
Oh, you just sparked something in my. You ever see Thunderbusters?
Don't think so.
All right. You need to.
Who are
YouTube,
you going to call?
Thunderbusters. So if you ever listen to it, Ghostbusters and Thunderstruck share
Jesus.
the exact same beat, the exact same harmony, the exact same everything,
And yet Huey Lewis
and it is
sued
hilarious.
Ray Parker Jr. for a song that doesn't sound all that much like "I Want a New Drug."
Well, you can't copyright a melody. Not really. There's a lot of songs that are similar that
Well, these are similar enough that they are excellent, and they tie together pretty damn good because they take the music videos from the Ghostbusters music video, and then you got the Thunderstruck music video.
Jesus Christ, I had no idea. Oh boy, here we go.
And it is absolutely excellent. And it's called Thunderbusters.
I would get kicked off YouTube.
I'm just gonna let it play for what's the minute the minimum you gotta
Oh, I think maximum's 30.
30
Yeah.
seconds. So it's got the scenes and stuff like that.
This is like a weird
Well, I mean, this song's
Pink Floyd and
This is
Dark
way more
Side of the
fun.
Moon.
I was gonna say this is way more fun than Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
It's just Thunderbusters instead of Thunderstruck. It's Thunderbusters.
Oh my goodness. We might have found an alternate title to this episode.
But yeah, so and I guess technically this is a YouTube video that is not copyright or anything because it's mashing two things together. I don't know.
That is
but-
true.
So
You can't really.
Is that the one that's been up for 7 years?
I don't know. Probably.
So here's a confession time. I'm not a big AC/DC fan.
Blasphemy.
I'm
That is everybody's reaction to it.
It's all too similar. I appreciate it. It's not bad. I'm not shitting on it. I'm just not a huge. I understand why it's popular. I do. I enjoy it, but I don't like it. It's not what I look for
Basically,
in
what
my
you
music.
need to listen to is Back in Black and half of The Razor's Edge.
And She Got
and
the
you're good.
Jack. Because that's a great
well, Thunderstruck is from The Razor's Edge in '90, and they had AC/DC live, and that's a fantastic collection of Brian Johnson covering Bon Scott tunes live.
I want my Jim Brewer covering
everything.
I didn't realize that Artie Lang was on Mad TV the first season.
That's how I first heard of him.
Really? So, Sean, I'm going to explain this to you, and I'm going to try to do it justice. I think I showed Steve this. So, Artie Lang was explaining, you know Artie Lang.
Mm-hmm.
He was explaining to Joe Rogan about his time in rehab. He got sent to a halfway house.
No.
Was Brooks there?
No. But the guy above him had a weird form of Tourette's. And every 11 seconds, he would go, hey, like that. So to get to sleep.
You really enjoyed this second Mission Impossible movie with that awful Metallica song.
hey. I like that song.
Hey.
It's
Why?
Fatallica. Fatallica needs to be. I don't know how I'm going to work in all of this in the.
Hey, Jude.
I don't know. I'm going to work this into the
Hey,
description.
Jude. hey, Jude. Don't make it bad.
So
Take it song and make it better.
So
Now I saw that Louis Armstrong. And make it better.
I love that so much.
Hey, Jude.
You're welcome, America.
Have you ever been itchy in a place?
Welcome, America.
Have you ever itched in a place you can't scratch?
Because this is
All
scratched
the time.
So, Mr. Hey guy was on his top bunk, and to get to sleep, he couldn't sleep unless he beat off. And to beat off, the only porn he would watch would be these really skinny white dudes fucking these really fat black chicks. So he's like, all night, the only thing I would hear while I was trying to sleep was this. Fuck me with that honky dick. Hey!
It sounds like a brilliant song titled Me.
So now at the cabin,
Fuck me with the honky dick white boy.
So when I was in the cabin,
Fuck me with a honky dick right.
so when I was in the cabin,
Fuck me with a honky dick white boy.
all
Fuck me
weekend,
with a honky dick and fuck me till I die.
all
To
weekend,
die.
all weekend. That's all we'd do. It'd be a silent moment, and then Preston would go, "Fuck me with that honky dick," and then Thomas would go, "Hey."
Oh man.
right.
Pavlov.
I'm salivating over that.
Just say drooling. We're not that sophisticated.
We've gone for a long time now, guys.
As I normally do.
Do we keep
Why?
going, or do we go eat?
Quesadilla is good.
We're gonna keep on going all night long.
Well, how about we do one more beer and then we eat?
hike.
Okay.
All right, cool. I've chosen the last couple. It's you guys' turn.
Another hop gun or whatever you think is good.
I need to take-
Anything but the Rolling Rock.
I need to take 2 for 1.
All right. It says 3
He's on
hours,
PoopCon
but that's not right,
5.
because
Yeah,
remember, I
it's
paused
7
it.
and no.
I paused it, and it's not actually 3 hours
That
yet.
wasn't my podcast.
Well, it's 7:00, and we started at
4-ish.
It
4:30.
hasn't been 3. It only says 3 hours because I paused it and it
Jumped
skipped.
ahead, yeah.
It jumped ahead, way ahead. Sean, I'm so glad you decided to do this.
Dude, it's always fun. always. I mean, it just always hanging with you is fun, dude.
Absolutely. And I know youth feel differently about this than every other guest did, but they go, what am I going to talk about for like 2 hours? I'm like, this is just hanging out, and we just this is what we always do.
This is a mind and is an eye inside the mind of AJ and Sean and Steve at a normal table at the Saucer.
Absolutely, and we're just recording it. It's not like we're doing anything special. Like Steve and I, if it's just me and him, we'll do topic, we'll do best one-hit wonders, or best stuff like that. But when we have a guest, you're adding potentially an extra hour of material every episode that you have a guest. So every time we have a guest, especially one whom I respect and I love as much as you, who I miss every single time you go away, and I love you, buddy.
Love you too, dude.
Oh yeah, yes. I
miss you guys. I miss hanging out all the time.
I do too, because we like Steve doesn't have any children. I don't have any children, so we like to go and do and experience things, and it's hard to do that because so many of our other friends have done that thing, and there's nothing wrong with that too. But it's hard to find people that are more like-minded, like.
Exactly. I mean, we all used to be fairly like-minded, and but it's kind of. It kind of annoyed me when I'm new to way, and literally the entire Sauce group fell apart, and it's like never kept going. It's like well then every single time they come back, it's like a big production to go Saucer now. It's like, no, this fucking day that ends in Y, man.
Yes.
Come on.
Yeah, we kept it going. We kept it going.
Yeah,
in your honor.
which you do wonderfully. But I mean, it's kind of like, all right, come on. It doesn't have to be the Saucer per se, but I mean. Just keep hanging out, just because I'm not gonna say I'm the glue that held it together, because I wasn't. But I mean, it's just kind of like, I felt like when I left, it's like everybody just like stopped freaking going and hanging out, and it's like, geez, wow, that kind of sucks to see.
Well, life happened, and
it does.
And the thing is, too,
kids and marriages and shit like that.
Be the glue you wish to see in the world.
Yeah.
Well, the weird part is, I was explaining this to one of my employees today, that usually you're more impulsive when you're younger, and then you grow older and you settle down. And I'm going the exact opposite. I'm getting more impulsive.
It's not necessarily an impulsive thing. I mean, I would say that it is. You're still doing a routine. It's going and hanging out with your friends, hanging out and doing stuff with your friends, and on a regular basis. And other people might supplant that, like, wives, girlfriends, children, things like that. And so it's got to scale down, but, it's not shouldn't completely take over everything. And you still need to have some sort of grounding and,
we
outside
lucked out.
contact.
Steve and I lucked out. We're with ladies who understand who we are, and we like to do things, and we will never cheat on them and never put ourselves in danger. We just like to do the stuff that we enjoy doing.
I still haven't fixed my busted airbag that I have a recall
Oh
on.
shit, living on the edge.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that.
Oh my God.
Danger zone.
Are you a pizza cutter? Because you have no edge.
Lana.
It's kind of
Lana.
What? Danger zone.
We need to have Tyler on here one day.
Oh, yes, we need Tyler.
So, oddly enough, I saw a missed text from Brad that he's going to know that night. Like, I'm currently hammered here. Yo, guys, have fun.
Well, and it's free to get hammered here.
Yep.
True. Bring his ass over here. But yeah, Tyler, I was trying to come up with time to like hang out with him, and he was like, yeah, I got like Thursday. Oh, I can't do Thursday.
That's Thanksgiving.
Exactly. I'm like, I mean, I understand that you might like want to like a little.
Do you put Benadryl on the turkey so everybody else passes out? Like,
well, we could take care of this with some chloroform.
If he can make it here in the next hour, then we'll keep this party fucking going.
All right, stand by.
I have another microphone.
I just heard from Brad like he's going to know that night. It's like, yeah.
Tyler's going to know that too.
I don't know.
If Tyler can make it here in an hour,
He's the one guy with the schedule worse than mine. It's like, I don't have to deal with people. He's got to deal with criminals. Like,
he's got to do criminals and
good.
children.
Oh, good Lord.
Here, use the race car as a hammer because that nails it.
All right. I'm going to just like pretend like that didn't happen because
that was literally off mic.
Yeah, no,
it was off
mic. So it's completely
good.
What's now next? For something completely different.
What beer's next?
Not now,
whatever you deem worthy, sir.
I picked already. I've picked
Go
every
forth and
booze
conquer.
so far. It's not my turn.
You like them double IPAs?
Whatever.
Sean will drink whatever. Except
Cool.
for us. We won't do sours. Mr. Mark Kniesny wants to do...
I'm going to get y'all drunker, and I'm going to take it a little easier.
Is it Kniesny or Knesny?
Yes.
Knesny? He wants to do a wine episode, and I told him, I'll do a wine episode, but you're going to have to supply it because I don't know any jack dick about wine.
I got a lot of really good wine back at home, but yeah, that would be a challenge because everybody's wine taste is slightly different. I'm a really, really, really big fan of what do we have here? Southern Tier Dippa. All right. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Chiantis.
Yes.
And liver and fava beans?
The
Duh.
fava beans.
Dude, I don't care if it's human or it's cow. Liver is untenable. I'd rather
liver
eat a
mush.
magnet.
I love
liver mush is fantastic because it's sausage by a different name.
Oh yeah, I was like, Emily, you want to try
Terrible
this
name.
sausage? She's like, yeah. She's like, that's really good. What? It tastes different than normal. What is it? I was like, it's liver mush. You want some more? She goes, no.
Funny you mentioned that particular variety. That my buddy that lives in Decatur, the Matthews of Atlanta.
Yep.
For a couple of years when I was going to the beer festivals there, I would bring down bricks of liver mush and he fix it up. It's like, I don't know what I'm getting into. It's delicious.
Yeah.
It's a terrible name. You live in Atlanta, capital of hog country.
Yep.
You can't find liver mush. Apparently, not in the bluest dot of the state.
Yeah. Even Macon is red. Savannah's blue. Atlanta's blue.
It's just like, trouble with these people with the better ideas that don't eat as well as the people that are actively trying to kill you.
By the way, I've had liver mush a couple different ways. And everybody has their
covered, scattered.
No Waffle House. Everybody has their preference. And I got to tell you, between the liver mush with maple syrup, the liver mush on a biscuit with mustard, or the liver mush on a biscuit with grape jelly, the answer is yes. There's no bad choice. And now I want liver mush tacos.
All right.
Oh.
There's your
That's
title.
it.
Nope.
Nope.
No, it's good, but
not a liver mush guy.
I would highly suggest you speak with Stephanie about the glories that are duck blood.
Go on.
No, it is a traditional Chinese / Taiwanese dish that it's basically like gelatinized duck blood.
Is Taiwan more Mandarin or Cantonese? Hong Kong is Cantonese.
I actually don't know. That's a question for Gerald since he studied the languages.
Fair enough.
I know Japanese, not anything Chinese.
Emily's grandmother is Cantonese. So I think she's from Chengdu, China.
My dad grew up in Canton, North Carolina, and he can speak none of them.
That's not how this works. So
and
I can teach you a little bit of
printing
Cantonese.
company too.
I can teach you
that awful paper mill there.
Gong Hai Fat Soy. Happy New Year. I can teach you We Love You Grandma, which is Womanai Ni Papa. And I can teach you Fart, which is Feng Pei.
Feng Pei.
I'll guess which one you're going to remember.
None of them. But if I did,
Feng Pei.
Feng
Feng
Pei.
Pei.
Feng Pei is fart in
I
Cantonese.
know the basics of Chinese because Stephanie taught me when I had to go over there for
I think
her wedding.
I think Taiwanese is mostly
It is probably mostly mostly
German?
Mostly
actually,
German.
Mandarin.
Guten
but,
Tag, meine Damen und Herren. Wie geht's? Du bist alle Scheiße.
I had a dream. When Emily and I woke up at 5:15 this morning, I dreamt I went to Germany, and this is true story.
Congratulations. It's really easy because anyone under 50 speaks English.
Yeah, true story.
Yeah.
This morning, I woke up and I was like, "Did you sleep okay?" She goes, "Yeah." Did you? I was like, "I dreamt I went to Germany." She goes, "What?" I was like, "I dreamt I went to Germany, and when I landed at the airport, I went to my hotel, which was the bar was a saucer."
Were you competing against Anne Frank in hide and seek? Yes.
Yes, actually, my favorite is number 2.
TLDR.
Can you read it?
Right now, I'm having amnesia and deja vu.
Oh no, the 3 is my favorite.
Okay. I like it.
That's my favorite one, not number
So,
2.
all right, I have a meme / joke for you.
Okay.
All right, time traveler goes back in time, meets George W. Bush, and he's like, so, well, what year is this? He's like, it's 2001. Is this before or after the September 11 attacks? Before.
Along the same lines, a masochist says to a sadist, "I want you to hurt me," and the sadist says, "Nah."
I think that's just a lazy person. That's just a lazy person.
Yeah. I had something funny to tell you, and I forgot it.
I figured somebody is not a Boy George fan.
Number 4 is good, actually.
I can't actually remember all of mine. I have
You had Going to Fly Fighter Jets. Be right.
Well,
back.
that's the current one.
Yeah.
I'm still going to do that.
My number 9
I already have done that.
My number 9 is
fighter choppers.
Well,
whatever.
number
So one of the awesome things is they have these things called the trainer jets and the FRS and stuff like that. They actually have two sets of controls, so you can learn how to fly fucking F-18s and stuff. So I've actually gotten to have stick time on the F-18s and stuff, and Harriers, but and F-5s. But actually, I am putting in for after my next. So when I promote next, I'm going to be up for a department head job, and I'm going to put in for a F-18 Growler transition. So I will be doing that, hopefully, full time.
cool. Where will you be?
Would be Washington
State
City or
or
state?
DC?
State.
Interesting. Have you been to Washington State?
Yes.
How is it?
It is pretty damn good. Oh, jeez.
Nice.
Yeah, Airwolf. Calling all Jan Michael Vincents.
Dude, the intro video to that, it's like, yep, this is the Murder Chopper.
Yeah.
Murder Chopper is another great band name. There's so many great band names.
That's your episode title.
Murder Chopper.
Murder Chopper.
Murder Chopper, Murder Chopper.
He
Murder.
knows what's up.
Yeah.
Apparently, Death Clock's finally able to tour again, or
Nice.
something. Like I saw them opening for Mastodon 10 years ago.
So
That was fun.
every 6 months we have to do a physical fitness assessment in the military, and so you gotta do as
Niacin the creatine, y'all.
you gotta do as many push-ups as you can in 2 minutes, as many sit-ups as you
Oh,
can in
Lord.
2 minutes, and then you got to either do a run or you can do it on the bike. Well, It's fucking 90 something degrees. I'm in the air conditioned building doing the bike. But yeah, so
Work
you can,
smarter, not harder.
exactly. So we can listen to music and stuff. You can listen to music while you run as well if you choose that option. Anyways, I'm sitting on the bike and I just put on Death Clock's rock opera, and the guy's proctoring the thing, like walking by, is like, dude, Death Clock. It's like, yeah,
Yes.
awesome. But yeah, so I watched the Death Rock opera while I was doing my stationary bike for the physical fitness test.
Beats working out.
Yeah. I texted Emily, I'll put on my wizard robe and hat. She goes, what? I'll explain later.
Do you even internet, bro?
Do you even blood ninja?
Apparently not.
Apparently
Jeez,
not.
Louise, like was she even on the internet in the 90s?
Well, look,
Because
okay.
that
So
is-
when I met Emily, she had never had Pop-Tarts or Hamburger Helper or any kind of Mountain Dew.
because she couldn't have my food being my roommate.
I'm still
I think
not
it might
mad.
have been. I think it might have been like Mountain Dew was the only thing on that list that was actually in my groceries.
I'm not mad. I'm disappointed that nobody ever set me and Emily up.
Dude, really?
Well, it took us how long to
Um,
meet, and she was a mutual friend.
Okay. I'll shed some
I
light on this. I
think
will shed some light on this
she,
right now.
She might as well have been an atheist nun for all I
Okay.
care.
All
So that makes it difficult
Okay.
to try to pair
All right.
her up with anybody.
All right.
Because there
Yeah,
was one prior, like, this guy sucks, and I'm going to set him on fire.
All right. So how did I break the code?
You
Don't-
broke the code because you sat down. You got there early at the same time she did. That is the only reason that you're married.
I don't
Right
know.
now.
Mark invited her out that day.
Yeah. So you both got there early and were the only two people there. That's the only reason you began talking.
Brad and Tyler were there with me.
Were they?
Yes. They were. Brad and Tyler were there with me when I met Emily. First.
Right.
The very
So-
first time.
All right. So yes, we had all known Emily and we had all known you. And we had basically all kind of known and without discussion agreed that you were so disparate in like who you were that it was like, okay, whatever. It never even clicked that we should introduce you to.
This is why being matchmakers for people is a horrible idea.
And that's why we didn't try.
Yep. All right, so
You were the rocker dude with the freaking mohawk.
yeah, it's falling down.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, well-
now the bald hawk, but
Bald hawk. Yeah.
uh,
Dick's still
and-
big,
and-
but
and
hair's
she was the quiet, reserved,
Hawk, hawk.
like
Spike your gin hair up. You'll be all right.
she was
What
always
hair?
like super quiet and reserved and very polite and nice, innocent, like kind of girl that we just like, okay, fun to hang out with. And we always enjoyed hanging out with her, but it was like never like, we're going to introduce you to this freaking crazy rocker dude that we know.
Understood.
Yeah, that just like never crossed our minds.
I understand. I completely understand. And now we've been together since 2010. It'll be 2020 next year.
And I'm not saying that anything is wrong. I'm just saying that is why it never clicked with us.
I know.
Disparate personalities.
I know. That's why when people say, "Oh, well, she's not my type," I'm like, "No, go out with her and see if you like her."
True.
There's no type. Like, no, I like tall, pale redheads, and I married a short, brunette Chinese woman. You can't help who you fall in love with. Like that.
True.
Don't do types. Types are stupid.
I agree.
Like, just go out. Just hang out with them. Hang out. Hang out does not mean marry. Hang out means
Got to start somewhere.
see if you
Try
like
it
them.
out.
Yes.
And odds are not in your favor, but you don't know till you know.
Yes.
In the grand scheme of my 7 years in online dating, that was about 100 first dates. When Count I met, I was her second.
How lucky is she?
The odds are good, but the goods are odd.
That's the title.
Yeah, even Hitler had a girlfriend.
Jesus Christ.
That
is not the title. Do not write that down.
That is a line from that song, though.
Yeah.
Odds are pretty good, but the goods are pretty odd.
Even
Hitler had a girlfriend, so why can't I? Why can't I?
They're actually. Do you know? You're familiar with Sam Elliott, right?
Well, yes, dude. Do you have to use so many curse words?
Okay, so he was actually
He's
in
a Time Lord. He was born at 50 years old, so therefore he won't age beyond that.
Correct. He was just in a newly released Netflix episode called "The Man Who Killed Hitler and Bigfoot." I highly suggest you watch it.
Bigler or Hitfoot?
No, so the general plot line of it was, him kind of flashing back to his time during World War II when he was a special OSS agent to track and kill Hitler, which he succeeded
with his
in doing.
mustache.
Not at that age, but actually no, he did have a mustache even then, if I remember correctly. But anyways,
shaving it for
he
later?
succeeded in killing Hitler, like the original Hitler. And then it's all about flashbacking, blah blah, and then the FBI comes to him or whatever, and hey, Canada has this big disease outbreak, and it's being spread by this unknown freaking primate in the Northwest. What has previously been identified as Bigfoot, and we need you to go kill it. And one of the FBI agents my grandfather knew you, and he told these stories, and he said you might have possibly been the guy to kill. It's yes, I did. And so he explains it away okay, his ideology was the only thing that stood now, and so they had duplicates lined up. He killed the original one, but they kept putting people in his place. And the last one was a womanizer that couldn't help himself, and that's why he had a girlfriend.
James Bond.
A cross between James Bond, the one with Jet Li, and Highlander.
And it's all Sam Elliott because it's Sam Elliott.
Fair. I like Sam
Pretty
Elliott.
good, dude.
As you
I
should.
know that.
As anybody should.
Son.
Ooh, I'm craving some chips and salsa. Anybody else?
Are we done now?
Trabajando mañana.
Well,
Porque no traba al viernes y el fin de semana.
No sé.
K in the hell.
Well,
I got a little bit of beer left, so.
I got half a beer left, so I'm good to go for another.
All right, so
20
cool.
minutes.
So before the next 10 minutes, is there anything anyone wants to share before we go eat Mexican food and conclude episode number 47?
I don't know. Switching back to the celebrity type BS.
Yeah.
Chevy.
You'll see a lot of them in Key West, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Cigar shop I always hang out at. Brad Paisley came by a couple times.
Like a good neighbor. He's there.
Exactly.
I have no.
Unfortunately, Peyton Manning was not with him, but whatever.
Heard Peyton Manning's actually a really nice guy in
Good.
person.
I don't like that ad campaign.
Brad Paisley's he was in his Dodgers shit.
That's weird.
Yeah, he was wearing his Dodgers shit. But yeah, he was just buying cigars. Apparently, his drummer literally just blows through them, big ass cigars. 20 minutes gone.
You're not supposed to play drums using cigars, by the way.
By the way,
Yeah.
so if you want to know about how much pain I was in, in the mountains. I'm not a pot smoker. I do the edibles thing, but it doesn't do anything for me. So killed a whole blunt by myself, first time ever. No difference. Drank the entire thing of bourbon I brought. Nothing. Ibuprofen. Nothing. I've never had any pain like that in my entire life. It was the worst pain. I thought I could drink or smoke or get through it, and I had to go to the hospital.
You want something to take your mind off that pain? Give me your hand.
No.
Okay.
Your hands are bigger than mine.
Just your little finger.
Nope. I have long, skinny guitar player fingers, and you would crush them.
Just need your little finger. It'll take your mind off that pain, I promise.
Nope.
What about pinky toe?
All aboard the Nope train to fuck that a stand.
I'm guessing you've never seen the movie Major Pain.
I'll be on you like white on rice and a glass of milk on a paper plate in a snowstorm. I've seen it before. It's just been several
Something.
It works.
moons ago.
It has been since VHS.
If you got like serious pain, break your pinky and you'll forget all about it.
No, I need that pinky. I don't need this pinky.
Okay.
And I don't want you to break that one either.
Okay.
I'm quite fond of that one.
Well, trouble is you're right-handed.
'Cause it goes up your
so
butt.
That's going to be awkward if, like, this one's in the cast.
So I
I was like, I think,
with-
if this breaks, amputate it. This is useless.
Well, my picking. God damn it! Where's my pick? There it is. That's a pick maker.
I know.
There it is. So that's my pick.
You, me, and some credit cards. I don't care if they're expired.
Yes, it makes picks.
Good luck with my Amex Platinum card.
It would make a pick with that.
I
but
doubt it.
I guarantee it would. It's really sharp. Challenge accepted.
For a good time call.
867.
It is a 16th-inch piece of metal.
8
That sounds like a good
9
challenge.
0 1 2.
That is a solid rubber band ball
3
to the core, though.
4 5.
I can feel this.
6
I hate when people ask me if it
7
bounces. I'm like,
8
yeah, it's
9
rubber.
Does it bounce off your head?
0.
I mean,
It expires 10/19. Your QV code is 123.
The phone number associated with that is 555-1275.
Sean, you'll be happy about the thing I have over there beside the amp. That's my noise canceling multi-purpose.
Wall tile thingy.
Then why aren't you using it?
Well, just lean in the corner and shout at it.
Or vocals.
Okay. Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, that or vocals. I'm doing vocals and have my mic up there. The ambient.
I like it.
Quite happy.
I would suggest, in addition to that, if you make another one ever, between the plywood backing and the foam, put a layer of gypsum board, because that helps also absorb a lot of high end freaks.
Gotcha. Yeah, I have when I'm EQing, I cut out vocals anything after like 18,000.
Yeah, but I mean,
Hertz.
when you're recording, it's still going to have
Enterprises.
some sort of resonance there.
Yeah, it's better to get
So-
it right at the source than just
Yeah.
to try to EQ it out.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I would suggest if you make another one ever, just put a layer of like gypsum board, which you could buy. In this case, a 4x8 sheet or of gypsum board at Home Depot, and
Gotcha.
put it there, and that'll help really square down the high end freaks.
I gotcha. Yeah, I do the so I do the dynamic mics with this because It's just and I do the condenser mics with vocals. That's such a wormhole of stuff to.
Yeah, I was noticing on the
Stuff to do
waveforms behind
things.
you. So my voice is being picked up by everybody else's, as is yours, as is Steve's.
Yep.
If you have a lot more like directional condenser mics, that would be probably the next step.
Yep. And it is, and I spend it probably when I upload a new episode, it takes me hour and a half to dial out everything. I don't dial out every little nuance, but most of the big stuff you would notice for podcasting. Then I'll download.
Stream.
I'll negate with the gates. So I'll just hit it with the gate. I don't like hit it with a major gate. It's kind of like compression. You hit it with a little bit. Like you hit it a little bit at a time. It sounds more natural with compression.
I would suggest a directional condenser mic, and then you have like one ambient environmental mic, like in the middle of the table, and so you can pick up like a little bit of just ambient noise, like the beer can popping, the pouring of the whiskey, things like that. That is a definite suggestion.
Yep, and
me tapping on it.
Next step.
Definitely the next step is to get those mics, and I want to. And should this podcast grow, then that will be on the short list of things to purchase, because that's about the only that's about the only other thing we need. We need to do one on location though. I think at Noda.
I agree. You should do something at like a bar somewhere, Noda, Saucer, something like that. I think it would be really beneficial.
I think so too. What do you think, Steve? Which one would you? I think Saucer. That's kind of where it begins.
That's kind of perfect. That's how we know each other.
Yes.
I would challenge you in that case to up your beer/brewery conversation on the podcast.
We can do. We just have to. We're good at that. We just have to. We knew with you we would be able to talk for 3 hours and not have a gap, so we haven't looked anything up. But normally when we do episodes, we give each other a couple days of, hey, we're going to talk about this, and we kind of look it up. So, I think for episode 50 we should do one on location.
Yeah.
So it's 47.
I mean, Biggie is still a Saucer, right?
On Thursdays?
No.
That
I saw them on their website. So
it's gotten bizarre. Whatever on a Monday.
All right. So today is the 27th of November. So if we do 48 would be the 11th. 49 would be the 25th of Christmas Day. Guess what's
Christmas
not happening that
Day?
You know what I say we do?
I think you should do Christmas Day at the Saucer.
Nope. I think we should do a New Year's Eve podcast.
I don't care.
Oh, man. Christmas Eve podcast. I'll dial in. You just need to figure out how to bring that in.
Well, look, if this is 47, we have 48, 49. So that would be 3 before then. So that's going to be tough. So the 11th would be a Wednesday. December 11th would be the next one. Because today is the 27th.
A firm 11th, and then the one after that's
the 48th. 49th would be Christmas Day, theoretically.
I think you should space it out after the 11th, or actually reduce the time, so you're doing it on like that Saturday or Sunday, the 21st or 22nd, and then you do it on the 1st.
Do what, New Year's Day or New Year's Eve?
Oh, day, definitely.
New Year's Day?
Well, I mean,
instead of Eve?
Eve, I mean, you're gonna have a tough time.
You're busy doing something stupid.
Yeah,
I don't have any shows.
Day, you are going to be hungover and you need the hair of the dog, and it's gonna be great.
We will talk about this over Mexican food.
Only All right. It's like otherwise I just kind of curl up and dead.
Well, I think
Maybe
that's
I was like,
it.
I'm already trying to shoot down idea of yeah, let's go downtown for anything.
No, I
No.
don't want to pay $20 to park and $20 to get in when I could spend $40 on 2 cheap bottles of something and just get slammed. I like the way you think, Steve.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. I was like, it's the thing I was invited to is way more pricey for a holiday I care not about.
I think we should do a New Year's Eve podcast.
I'm not that into you too, but nothing changes on New Year's Day.
I think it should be a New Year's Eve podcast, even if it's 49.
Well, I think you should do that one on location then.
The problem is most places have DJs or music.
Yep.
So that's going to be a problem. We will figure out something. We're going to do even if we do 49 on New Year's Eve, we can do 50 on location somewhere.
New year, new dumb idea. Cool.
I like that. I want some food. Anybody else want food?
Sure.
All right, well, cool. Well, Sean, thank you for coming once
My
again.
genuine pleasure.
Oh,
Glad to
yeah.
be here.
Shaka.
Anytime you're in town,
Okay.
anytime you're in town we'll make time for you. We'll make another episode for you. So for Sean, I'm AJ.
Still Steve.
I'm Sean.
And he's Sean. CBGPod.libsyn.com and Facebook.com/CBGPod. We will see you guys in episode 48.
Happy Thanksgiving, you toodles.
Woohoo! Happy birthday to Steve yesterday.
Yes.
I'm old now.
Yay!
Late 30s.
Later.
Dirty 30s.